Microphone. Hello! Good afternoon. Welcome back. We're here with another Roll Corruption stream. We're going to be doing some Dark Heresy today. Good afternoon, hello. Shout out to various different places for videos. Some of the background you have, will see in front of you is from Battlefield Gothic Armada 2. Some of it's from Deathwing, some of it's from other games, some of it's from artwork from Necromunda, the audio's from Inquisitor Martyr, so full credit to all of those. And as well as that, no, nothing's from Sirenscape today. Shout out to Foundry because that's the software we're using, and shout out to Mooman for helping to put this homebrew package together, because this is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to combat. And we're rocking a homebrew today, so this is going to be largely using Warhammer Fantasy rules and moving them into Dark Heresy just to try and update the settings. So it's not going to be traditional Dark Heresy. You might be wondering what's going on. Just go with the flow. Today we have a setting of guardsmen as characters. So we have a conscript, we have a scout, we have a medic, and we have a lieutenant, who are all here and hopefully going to be surviving this session. It's going to be pretty brutal.
Guys.
Hey! We can... I mean... Do you want to introduce a character? I mean, it's up to you. Have you got any backstory in your head, or should we just get cracking?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, it's just...
I got nothing here.
Yeah, you're...
I mean, I kind of have a little something worming around. Like, so now that you've brought up this wealthy thing, my guy was wealthy. He grew up on a planet where, citizenship, is earned through service. So now he's forced into the Imperial Guard, and he freaking hates it.
That's,
so we'll go from there.
That's pretty much it. For most of them, in fact. You don't have much choice as to being where you are. You were forced into it. You may enjoy it, you may not. So let's go to the setting. The setting is within the Caligari sector. If you're not familiar with that, it's commonly advertised within or portrayed within Inquisitor Martyr. It's a cut-off sector in the arse end of nowhere, surrounded by warp storms, and doesn't see a lot of reinforcements as a result. The crew, including this guard detachment, are currently set aboard a Cobra-class escort vessel, obviously owned by the Imperial Navy, and rumour has it within the ship that you are en route to provide assistance to a salvaging operation that's being plagued by raiders. And despite having only a skeleton crew of 2,000, unusual for this vessel as it would normally be sporting around 10,000, you are somehow managing to keep everything running and making your way toward this rumoured destination, at least. As well as this, we have a slight militarum presence aboard the ship, some 600 that are going to be replenishing some of the casualties aboard this destination. But days before your arrival, not via warp, that being said, but as you are approaching the actual system, you've made entry, the Gellerfield goes back down, you are safely cruising on through. Just a few mere days away, your ship comes, what you assume to be under attack, when you feel all of a sudden the entire ship become rocked by the hit and blasts of macro battery fire. Some half hour later, you're aware that the first torpedo volley from your ship has been launched, and you're now pretty confident at this point that this is no drill. The first officer, during this battle, orders the entirety of the militarum to prepare themselves to repel boarders from this ship. That's where you find yourselves making your way into a arms locker to grab your equipment, las rifles, pistols, flak armour, backpacks, medical supplies, everything you would normally be equipped with you can find within these small 6x4 foot lockers arranged in lines by the thousand. As you're inside one of them, there's a flash of white light. That is the last thing you can recall. I'd like you all at this point for me to make a endurance test, please.
Or we go into the vacuum of space.
One endurance test for each of you, if I may. And we're targeting someone with that as well.
Oops.
Did anyone pass? Okay, MacGyver did fairly well. MacGyver. You find yourself in what feels like a restful slumber. tell me, what, as a guardsman, when you're unconscious or asleep, does your mind drift to?
Probably working for the Phoenix company. It was a cushy job. I was a janitor, but they didn't have many things to do. So.
Okay. Was this aboard a ship or a planet?
It was aboard many ships. I was stationed throughout the system.
Okay. So, you find yourself reminiscing back to that situation, a mop in hand, scrubbing the floor. The bucket next to you at this point, you notice a ripple in it, and almost like a hit from a basilisk shell off in the distance. A large thud. 5 seconds later, another. The bucket starts to tremble and move to the side slightly. What would you like to do?
I would like to look around, see what's causing the disturbance.
You look around. You're alone within the ship. No one else around you. It is eerily abandoned and quiet aside from this loud thud. It's getting louder. By the 5th or 6th, it sounds like someone's almost dropped an ordnance right on top of you. And as that happens, your eyes briskly awaken, a stinging sensation, a cold, metallic feel against your face as you peel yourself up from the floor inside an arms locker. It takes moments for your vision to come back. Around you are 3 other individuals on the floor, seemingly unconscious at the moment. Above you, a small red blinking light that illuminates every other second, indicating to you that the ship's generator is likely damaged or malfunctioned. The others seem to be breathing and awake, and outside from the door, which is currently closed to this compartment, you can hear a thick thud, getting quieter and quieter. Doof, doof, doof. Before you can't hear it anymore. What would you like to do? Over to you.
Where's my bucket? What? I'm going to go to the nearest person on the floor next to me and like shake him, trying to wake him up.
That'll be Radburn.
Rat! Ready! Rat! Ready!
What?
You okay? You okay?
What happened?
Dunno, really.
Yeah. Get the other 2 up.
Yeah. How's the lieutenant?
He's alive and awake. Each of you do respond, having been shoved and rustled by your compadres. It takes moments for your eyes to clear. A stinging sensation across your face. Lieutenant Danny, you have pins and needles across the left side of your face, and your left ear almost feels like it's been blocked by something. Your last recollection before this ordeal was that you were searching for a stun grenade. Being somewhat unfamiliar with how this works, you were fumbling with it in your hands, and moments after the lighting had gone, you recall dropping it on the floor. That's the last thing you remember.
Wow. Which one of you idiots pulled the stun grenade out? My face is so numb. What's going on? And he just starts looking around.
I think something hit us, Lieutenant.
Something hit us.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard a thumping and a bang and.
So, go to the door.
You'd think they would tell us something over Vox or something, but no, they don't tell us anything ever.
Vox, you're right. Hold on. I'm assuming I have a Vox speed.
You do have a microbead, indeed.
Yeah.
Currently, as you place your finger to it, just to check that it's still in there, you jiggle it around within your ear, and there's a awkward hissing static coming from it. It seems that with the ship's generator being down, that likely the Vox systems are also in some sort of state of disarray. At this point, this is said door of the room. appears to
Fox
be
is dead.
locked and closed in front of you.
What'd you say? You said the Vox is dead?
Vox is down. Is this where we were before? I can't remember. It's a bright flash.
I don't know. We were preparing, and then I was
Doesn't
mopping
look
the
like
floor.
The armory. Everybody, just taking a look around. Somebody look at the door. I'm gonna think.
If you need any bandages, let me know.
I'd like to make a scholastic lore test to try and figure out what to do while furiously thumbing through the uplifting primer.
Sure. Make a scholastic lore test. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what your primer says. -2. So you're fumbling around and looking for pages, and you managed to find a part that sort of says clean your weapons. You can't find anything that feels more appropriate than that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, start cleaning your weapons while you're at it too, okay?
Yes, sir.
And he packs it away and just kind of starts staring off into space.
Who was investigating the door? I believe that was your order.
Hustle, boys.
MacGyver's just furiously cleaning his weapon right now.
Do we need tech to investigate the door?
You can do.
That's not me then.
Fine, I'll go do it.
Okay.
So,
one thing I always forget to do in these sessions is put a voice to a character. So before we go on any more, I have a feeling... I tell you what would be absolutely fantastic is if we could have a little ring around a character when someone speaks. We'll make it happen one day. We'll speak to Moo Man. So Lieutenant Danilo, could you please say hello for us?
Hello, everybody. This is Lieutenant Danilo. I won't have a fancy voice or anything this time. The primer didn't tell me to.
Fair enough. Musaka, the medic, would you please say hello?
this is Medic Mustaka, and I absolutely hate you all.
Wonderful. Mop Man, MacGyver.
Mopman MacGyver, always prepared and always ready to clean. Defend.
Radburn.
Yeah, that's me looking for enemies of the Imperium.
Thank you very much, guys. Apologies. Someone is investigating the door. Back to it. Over to you. Who's having a poke around?
Mustakas, reluctantly.
Okay. Can you roll me a tech test, please?
Sure can do. Let's try and jimmy this thing here and touch that boobop there and see what happens.
A successful test to identify the issue. The generator is down. A large bolt is currently locking this door firmly closed. Without power, very difficult to get through. Perhaps a couple of hours with a cutter, a las cutter if there was one. But as you're fiddling with the wires and investigating, you can almost feel through the door a slight shaking sensation that appears in fairly frequent thuds. It appears to be getting gradually louder.
Guys, I don't like the sound of this. It's something weird. By the way, I can't get the door open.
Whoa.
Get over here.
Go help him, everyone.
Yep.
What
Go
do you
over to
hear?
the door
I don't know. I want you to hear it.
Okay.
Someone, whoever would like to roll a perception test for me. See what you can hear.
Yep.
I'll allow one or two of you at the door to make a roll. There's not enough for all of you to press your faces to it.
What was it? Scrutiny or
Perception or awareness, whichever one I put in this system.
Got awareness.
That'll do. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't make out a lot of details, other than this heavy thud getting closer. It's not quite perfectly rhythmic, but it is getting louder. gets to the point where you can feel it reverberating through the floor underneath you, but sort of your best guess would be it's perhaps something heavily armoured moving through the corridor? Hard to tell.
There's no Space Marine detachments on this vessel?
Space Marine? What? No, of course not.
Then what's that?
Angels of the Imperium? I've never even seen one.
Outside from the door at this point, you hear a loud, now no test needed, unavoidable to miss groan. It sounds pretty intimidating, one could say.
Let's get the heck away from here.
Get to where we're ready.
A couple of seconds later, it is met with a slight sound of whirring. Lieutenant, this is a familiar sound to you. You can hear a chainsword outside the room. Seconds later, after this starts, the roaring, moaning sound gets louder. The whirring increases.
Everybody, fix bayonets!
Outside the room now, you can hear the clashing of steel begin. Chainsword upon another blade. You can hear about 5 to 10 consecutive hits and parries, the occasional blow from a loud firing weapon as well. Even through several inches of steel in this door, you can still feel and hear loud, small explosions. Daniel, your imagination goes perhaps to a bolt weapon or something of an explosive nature. This goes on for 5, 10, 15 seconds before you very faintly hear the words, "For the Emperor." Difficult to make out through the door, but you kind of sounded like for the Emperor, before silence falls. The four of you look to each other in silence. Breaking that silence, coming through the door, 2 feet sticking out, a large rusted blade. 2/3 of the way up the door at this point, dripping with some hideous ichor. Goes through the door like parchment, at which point it starts very gradually sinking down. In the distance, as this blade now slides down the door in front of you, you can hear thuds moving off into the distance. Footsteps, not so loud as the first, but the sound of metal meeting with steel. Over to you.
Is the sword still sticking through the door?
It is slowly falling down through the door in front of you, as if the door were made of some cloth or fabric.
Okay, but we heard somebody walk away while this is happening?
Yes, they're walking away as you, right this second.
So there's no hand attached to the sword?
You can't see the other side. Like, at the moment, it's kind of just pierced through. So as it's sliding down, you have like this 1 inch or 2-3 inch gap that you can see that it's leaving behind. But as you try and peer through it, you're not able to see anything the other side, except for this sort of smouldering mist and foul smell. It only takes about 10-15 seconds, though, before it's made its way halfway down the door and starts sliding.
During that,
yep.
Dino is going to start yelling out, the strategic retreat, everybody back here. And he's going to back towards the opposite direction of the door.
Okay.
What's in the opposite direction of the door?
I'm assuming the back of the room.
Indeed, you're in a 6x4 foot chamber. You're kind of
there's no other way out.
Stood shoulder to shoulder with each other. This is a small locker.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
Another 10 seconds pass, and the blade has now made its way nearly at the bottom of this door and slid straight through the bolt mechanism. The door shifts slightly in its place. The 2 bits of metal sort of starting to collapse on themselves.
Ready your guns.
Lucky for you guys, I mean, it would have taken us a few hours to cut through that ourselves. I mean...
Well, I could probably have rigged something, but...
Praise the Emperor.
Yeah.
blade continues and is now at the floor, where it stays and rests. It does not move anymore, just simply sinks into the floor.
I take my las rifle and poke the door.
Lieutenant, we should go.
Yeah, you first.
The door.
What? Me first?
The door rustles a bit as you move it. It's the metal is clearly no longer attached anymore.
How big is that sword?
You can see about 2 feet of it. The other side of the door, there's likely a few more. This will be larger than someone
what does it
could
look
lift.
like? Like, what kind of, like
Larger
describe
than
it.
mine.
Imagine like a crudely crafted steel worker had made a sword for something like an ogrin, and that sword was left out to rust at the bottom of the ocean for a few thousand years, and then covered in a oozy, sliming, sort of weird gelatinous liquid.
Let's just... Lieutenant, where do we need to go?
Through the door.
Ah!
Now. Go.
Yes,
All
sir.
of you.
I will push the door.
Okay, make me a strength test with plus 30 as you attempt to jimmy the door open. You manage to do so, jamming the butt of your weapon in between, pressing to one side. You hear a snap. The door starts to just simply slide to one side, now just on its runners without any bolt to hold it back. In front of you, as you do so, there is in front of you a steaming, hissing pile of flesh that vaguely resembles the shape of a ogrin size and shape. You've never met an ogrin, but you've at least heard sort of banterous tales about them. It, however, is largely moulded. It has what looks like mealworms or ration grubs falling out of its flesh into the floor between the railings, wriggling off into the side.
No one even look at that. No, don't touch it. Just keep going. Keep walking.
Let's all make a valor test, please. As you try and pass this corpse, a valor test, which for the purpose of this is basically a cool test if you're a Warhammer Fantasy player.
Can I also make a command test to help them with their valor?
Sure. Do a command test to give +1 SL to everyone.
Because that would save me.
Because you've got some time. Unfortunately not. And let's have your own valor test as well, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Just about. So it's only Radburn and Mustaka who have a chill going down your spine as you pass this hideous thing. You get some flashing images in your head and feel disturbed as you imagine what it was like when it was still alive. But all 4 of you, now outside the room, find yourself in a large corridor with hundreds of these arms lockers, but not a single body to be seen around you. Lieutenant Danilo, your chrono reports that you have been out for roughly 4 to 5 hours.
When peering down the hallway, are any of the other lockers closed, or are they all open?
The majority of them seem to be closed.
Is there a station nearby that shows like the contents of each locker and kind of a manifest?
You could take a walk and have a look for some schematics.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Everybody split up and look for useful things. Useful.
Oh, you mean requisition materials.Got it.
It's
I
an
like
emergency. I think. And I'm going to pull up my primer and make another lore check.
Ooh, there we go. Sure, make another lore check.
I
Okay.
need myself a requisition skill.
Okay.
So is that legal to requisition stuff in emergency?
Absolutely fine, as long as you don't change it from its standard Imperial design and intention. It is absolutely fine, and if anything, you're duty-bound right now to find whatever is aboard this ship and destroy it, and if that is not possible, destroy the ship.
Okay, so yeah, useful things, everybody. Weapons, food, medicine, explosives,
Okay.
ship no, not the last thing, you didn't hear that.
Cleaning supplies?
Yes. We might get dirty.
Yes, sir.
Everyone could make me an awareness check as you try and search A for a room that's open and then B for anything that might still be in it. Okay, Mustaka, you find a door that's closed and you're certain it's full of medical supplies, but it won't budge. MacGyver, you manage to find a small cleaning utensil. It's kind of like a spray bottle of some sort of disinfectant. Looks like it could be useful. Radburn, no joy. You look around for weapons, armour, anything you can find of use. No. And Lieutenant, consulting your primer again, no joy. You're not exactly sure what to do right now. As well as a cleaning bottle, MacGyver, you do also find yourself a frag grenade.
9.
In one of the lockers. Seems the entire thing is empty, but one lone frag grenade sits beneath a chest. You see it poking out and reach underneath. Fortunately, this one's not been armed.
Anybody want a grenade? I've already got 2.
Grenade? No.
Okay.
I'm good,
I'll
thank
keep
you,
it.
though.
Okay.
I already saw what happened to the lieutenant.
You saw what? There was nothing that happened to me other than somebody dropping a flash grenade earlier, which wasn't me. So, now...
Oh, yeah, exactly, see?
What did you find? Tell me now.
I found a grenade, sir, and some disinfectant and hand sanitation, maybe? I don't know.
That's all?
Oh, I can weaponize anything, sir.
I found the ugly thing that boarded
Come
this
with the
ship. The only thing in the universe that would want to board this ship because this ship is terrible.
And I don't know how to respond to that. Glances at the primer and then shakes his head. Okay, now we need to eliminate the threat. So let's find the threat. Yes, find the threat next. So this way, and I'm just going to go in a random direction if that's all right.
Certainly fine.
Would you like me to make a roll for that, or?
I mean, you've got the choice of left or right. So, like, you could go toward the front of the ship or the back of the ship.
Oh,
it's
okay.
sort of that would be your choice. It's not to say your character would know which is which by now, though.
That's true. We should head to the front of the ship, because that's where the bridge should be, I think. Yeah, bridge, front.
Scholar Progenium has done us proud. The 4 of you start walking. Are you moving quickly, briskly, softly, loudly? Briskly.
And loudly.
And loudly.
Lieutenant, wait up! Slow down!
It's about 2 minutes into your sort of synchronized march when you start noticing the occasional body to your side. They're guardsmen as well, or rather they were. They're now somewhat more mangled. Some have been shot, some have been torn apart. There's one every sort of 5 meters. That's the sign of a bloody and brutal battlefield. There's the occasional body of someone not in uniform as well, bearing unusual markings. Something you're not familiar with.
Poor blokes, not everyone gets a flash grenade stasis to hide in for a few hours.
Lieutenant, do we want to advance a bit more carefully?
No, time is of the essence. We should go.
Hey, it's Jim.
Okay. As you do so.
This guy.
Hang on. He still owes me a couple of credits. He might be dead, so you won't miss him.
Okay, you pill for a couple of bodies. Do you want to make a roll for that? See if you can find some stuff.
Yeah. What's it? Awareness?
Yeah, we'll do an awareness just to see if you can notice anything unusual on some of these.
If you find any medics, let me know.
Yeah, no joy. It seems these people don't have any cleaning supplies at all, and no wallets all empty, as should be for an Imperial Guard.
Typical for Jim.
Right.
MacGyver, Radburn, up front now. Go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they don't.
Okay, so the two of you take points. So is that MacGyver and Radburn, is it, that are going up front?
Yep.
A neat formation. Who's watching the rear? If anyone.
Are we watching the rear? I thought we were just going straight.
Yeah, I don't think we're paying attention to the rear.
No attention to the rear. Follow the primer. Advance forward. Do not back down. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. So the four of you begin to march down the corridor again. Boots loudly hitting the floor beneath you. There would be no question as to whether or not you were coming down a corridor, if someone were to be there. And sure enough, you turn a corridor, and in front of you are four individuals seeming somewhat startled, but not in uniform. You have about 2 seconds to decide how you would react to such a situation as
Shoot them now! Shoot, shoot, shoot!
Yep.
Shoot them now. Got it.
Shoot them now. We are going to roll initiative. Two matching ones. Right. So these guys are going to be about, let's say, 15 meters in front of you from around the corridor. Let's get some more action-orientated music going on. There we go. So we are going to roll initiative now. We're going to let the system do it all for us. And in front of you, one of them quickly reaches for his gun, taking aim at... let's go for MacGyver first, who's slightly less subtle. And he is going to pull out... You're not exactly sure what it is. It looks like a custom gun of some sort. No, he's only got a range of 10 yards. So... he's quickly going to move toward you, in fact, about 5 meters or so. So he's roughly 10 meters away, at which point he pulls out this crude-looking, what could be conceived of as a shotgun, and takes a shot. And that is towards you, MacGyver. That is a total of 9 damage, which I forgot to use to target you, but that is going to be a lowly amount of damage to you. 4, 5, 6, 7. Just the -2 for you. Right. A few bits of shrapnel managed to pierce your left arm. You feel a searing pain going through there as small, tiny bits of metal embed themselves in your flesh, but the arm's still there, it's still hanging on, you're okay, you've had worse in training, kind of, mostly from friendly fire, but you're alright. Where are we up to next? Combat order, combat order, combat order. Right, Danilo, it is your turn. What are you going to be doing?
Danilo will unmute himself first, and then...
There we go, combat tracker.
Going to target the cultist that just fired and open fire with his pistol. I'm assuming that's within range now.
Indeed. Don't forget to target the token.
Yes, sir.
You are indeed within range. It is short range, and you will have a +20 to hit for your range.
And it's offhand, so...
Offhand -10, because you're ambidextrous. And, as well as that, are you doing semi-auto or normal?
Oh, semi-auto.
Semi-auto, okay. That will be a flat roll.
Okay.
No, should be -10 actually, but never mind. Unfortunately, about as bad as you could do. Your bullets go spraying up toward the ceiling, and the last shot taking out one of the lights.
Okay.
You are now in a slightly dimmer setting. MacGyver! You have a man
Yes,
5 meters in front of you wearing some weird green uniform you're not familiar with. It looks almost homemade.
I'm going to just look at my slightly wounded arm and yell at the top of my lungs, "For the Emperor!" and shoot at him with my...
Okay. You can roll me a test at +20. He is short range, as point blank in this game means point blank. No more of this point blank being miles. But +20 to hit. That is another god-awful roll. Unfortunately, caught by surprise and failing to reach and raise the weapon fast enough, you managed to make a few shots around him. Not a You can
reroll?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. You guys do have rerolls and action economy, so you can roll again if you wish.
Fortune point, right?
It is a fortune point indeed. What's up, Noldar? Welcome. Thank you for the follow, guys. Right. A hit. Just about barely a hit. You managed to scrape the side of his shoulder on the left-hand side, which is holding a weapon. And, well, it does something. It looks like he endured a little bit of pain. Not a lot, but in return
I'll
now,
take it.
another few bullets come flying down the corridor toward... Ooh, let's go towards Radburn at this point. And a measly 7 damage. Hitting you straight in the right-shouldered flak armour. You feel the shot bouncing off. Thus far, the rolls have been really bad. It feels like it jolts your shoulder slightly out of shape, but you're absolutely fine. And we have another cultist here that is going to be doing the same. I'm going to see if he can do slightly better. This will be against Radburn as well. We're going to see what we can do here. Come on. 12 damage. There we go. And that will be apply damage. MacGyver. Oh, we shot MacGyver. There we go. By 6SL. No damage values. Ensure the attacker is using a damage-causing item like a weapon. Ah, I know what I've done. Never mind. That is going to be a total of 12, which will be modified. We'll go back to Radburn by 12, 4, 5, 6, 7. That hurt. That hurt quite a bit this time. Straight in your chest comes a single shot that seems to penetrate through your flak armour, perhaps piercing through one of your lungs. You're okay, you'll be able to stand for a little while longer, but you definitely have been better. And coming charging out of nowhere into you MacGyver.
Radburn.
What was that, sorry?
Yeah, you skipped over me.
Oh, sorry. Radburn. Radburn, you to go.
Who was... where?
Combat track is too small. That's my excuse.
The cultist to the right of MacGyver at the moment is the closest, isn't he?
Yes, he is only 5 meters away.
Okay, I'll go for him then.
Plus 20.
Semi-auto.
Okay, plus 20 for the difficulty, and then minus 10 for the modifier.
Minus 10. I've got that right.
Oof! That's a bit better. And that's also going to be 2 hits and a critical. Let's see what the critical does first. Critical, a crushed foot. So you managed to hit... Oh, Jesus. Okay, so firstly, you managed to shoot him in the leg, which pretty much goes straight through the ankle joints, and you can see him buckle instantly on the spot. 2 hits, also doing at 9 damage. That guy is basically down and out for the count. His leg is in pieces. Blood starts spurting feet into the distance, spraying up the wall as he writhes in pain for a few moments before being kaput.
That's new.
That's quite something. And there we have, I think, Mustaka, it's you to go. Oh no, sorry, we had a guy come charging in towards MacGyver first. MacGyver, you are now in melee. I hope you enjoy this experience. Okay. We will be rolling a combat... Well, he has what appears to be a rusted knife that he is wielding against you. And you can make an opposed test. It could be melee, it could be whatever you like. You manage to dodge the blow, moving to the side. Despite being hit in the arm, you're still able to easily dodge this blow. Clearly, this person hasn't had as much training as yourself. Simple, predictable. gaining you 1 advantage. Right, dead cultist to go. Danilo, Lieutenant, you're up.
I don't think Mustakas is gone.
It's Mustakas, isn't it?
Mustaka, apologies. I ballsed up the combat tracker, so please remind me when I skip someone. Apologies.
It's okay.
Mustaka, you to go.
I'll just go at the end of the round. So, seeing some guy get shot right in front of me, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try and... can I medicate in combat?
You have a few sprayables and injectables, so actually, yes. Okay. It's very sort of... It takes seconds to do. But yes, you can roll a quick Medicae test and see if you're able to use some of your cast spray. You're not going to be able to bandage someone in the middle of a firefight, but you can basically quickly run over, a bit like a referee with the white spray on a pitch, only you're spraying his leg. What it does exactly, who knows, but it somehow manages to form a sort of a seal over the wound. Can you make me a Medicae test with plus 20, please, as you are fully equipped to do so? Absolutely. So your intelligence bonus plus 2, that will be... What's your intelligence bonus? 6.
6 total.
Fantastic. He's better than you, if anything. You instantly spray up the leg and a thick sort of 1-inch wide cast instantly sort of materialises on the leg. Seems to stop all the bleeding. He's okay.
Get back in there, buddy.
Oh, it's his chest anyway, wasn't it? Right, he's now sporting an extra chest plate made of white, foamy sort of polystyrene that seems to be very thick to touch. Right.
You owe me.
And now we have a dead cultist. And now we have Lieutenant Danilo. What are you going to be doing?
The cultist that's closest, is he within charging distance?
He is indeed. The one that's engaged with your compadre?
Mm-hmm, in melee.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Danilo will be charging up into melee against him.
Okay. You outnumber him too, giving you a plus 20 to your melee chain roll.
Okay, and then I'm hoping that Resolute is automatically added in.
I'll give you a plus 1 manually.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's not, but we'll find out. With a chainsword, we shall see what happens. Don't forget to target... Well, you don't need to target him, actually.
You said that was a 40?
It will be just a plus 20 for outnumbering.
Plus 20, right, average. There we go.
10 damage, a respectable hit. Let's see how he does with his blade in response. Not enough to parry the blow. However, a reasonable hit from your chain blade. You manage to start tearing into the upper side of his chest, going halfway through the pec before he's able to use his knife to jam it out of his flesh. And he looks hurt. He's seen better days, most likely. You have yourself 2 advantage. Right, MacGyver, it's you to go.
Yep.
What would you like to do?
Stab the guy that's in front of me. So I get the plus 20 for outnumbering as well.
Outnumbering? Yep, your advantage will be included automatically, so go right ahead.
2.
And let's see how he does. Pop. Okay, you actually still manage to hit. Not fighting at your best. That will basically do another tiny amount of damage. You manage to shove your blade into his chest. He's only wearing thick leathers, but the blade barely penetrates. It's unfortunately not... it's not very effective, as the Pokemon Masters would say. He does, however, take 1 wound still, because you hit him. And I forgot the penetrating effect of the chainsword, which I have not applied to this system, so another 2 wounds are taken as the blade rips out a portion of his pectoral muscle. Radburn, it's you to go. In front of you, 2 of your compadres have engaged with 1. There is 2 behind him, currently aiming autoguns toward you.
Can I safely shoot past their little scuffle?
You can indeed. Round to the side, you are easily able to point your gun round and take fire.
Cool. I will semi-auto that guy then.
Okay, a plus 20 for the range.
Marvellous.
Okay, a decent hit. A decent hit. We'll just click that. 1 11. Wow, okay. Nearly taking him down in a single blow. You manage to land a hit on his left arm. Pretty much going straight into the deltoid, the bicep, the arm's bleeding profusely afterwards. He's barely able to hold onto his weapon. That was Radburn. Now we have cultist number 1, who is going to turn this into somewhat of a mosh by screaming something sort of that you can barely make out. Comes charging in towards Lieutenant Danilo, pulling out a small dagger.
Where'd you come from?
And he is going to equip his combat knife. Doesn't get one for charging because he's already gone in. There's now no longer outnumbering. Lieutenant Danilo, would you please roll an opposed test? Of your choosing. Melee chain most likely being the highest.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got the advantages there.
Yeah, no other bonuses to roll. Oof! So when defending in this system, one of the things I love about Warhammer Fantasy, and thus we've moved it into Dark Heresy, is that when you defend with a critical hit, you inflict it on your opponents. Now, these guys don't have enough armour to mitigate this. He is winded, and so you manage to somehow, not necessarily with the blade of the body, but first jab him in the chest, winding him instantly. So that will be him down to 9 wounds, and then as well as that you've dealt 11 damage to him. So no, the 11 damage doesn't work, sorry, it's only the critical that's applied, but you did win the test as well, so you're now on 3 advantage, and you basically just stopped him in his tracks by poking him with a chainsword, perhaps forgetting that it should be used in a slashing manner. MacGyver, it's you to go, I think.
Really?
No,
it's the cultists.
Yeah, it is the cultist. It's cultist number 2, thank you. I thought that wasn't right. I've not been using the combat tracker right at all. Another few shots come down, this time going towards you, Radburn. All going wide, unfortunately. 3 shots are taken, all going whizzing over your head as you're able to duck underneath. And now we have the last one engaged in melee, who is going to take a swing towards MacGyver. Hissing at you, he seems incredibly frustrated. Loyalist scum! I'll let you make your opposed roll. Oh, he still manages to hit you, but with an absolutely terrible hit. Oh, wrong way. Guardsman 1 against a guardsman. No. Let's try that again. Cultist starts an opposed test. You win by 2, apply damage. Okay, well, it's going to end up being 1 damage. Basically an absolutely terrible blow from this poor excuse of a cultist is able to just kind of jam into your flak armour and just chink against it a few times. Yeah! Loyalist scum! Not enough to get you anywhere.
I just spit in his face.
He seems to enjoy it before getting ready to attack you again. Mustaka, you have a medkit.
Mustaka's going to sidestep out. No, why am I going to do that? I'm going to go ahead and shoot at the cultist.
Okay. 1 cultist down the corridor. What's up, Andy? What's up, Co? What's up, Robot?
Any modifiers?
Plus 20 for the range, for the difficulty, and minus 10 for the modifier because you've moved. I do know why those errors are occurring. It's just going to take me a moment to address that. Managed to get a reasonable blow, taking him down. He now looks like he is just about to fall down and collapse after hitting him straight in the chest. He's sort of barely holding on to the gun. You hear it in amongst some sort of gas mask, unable to tell what he's said. Now, we're at the top of the round. Danilo, it's you again. What are you going to do?
Danilo's going to make another slash at the guy you just poked.
Okay, you've got your 3 advantage. You would be hard-pressed now not to tear him in 2 pieces as you raise your chainsword above your head.
Lieutenant, you're doing great.
Encouraging words. Lieutenant has started an opposed test against the cultist. 14 damage. You,
Shut your face and keep fighting!
As predicted, you cleave him in 2. How would you describe this death?
The cleaving is going to cause the top half and the bottom half to kind of fly in opposite directions, and then when they land on the ground, they kind of are in place, but with about like a centimeter gap between them.
Okay. As the top half of his body goes flying, you vaguely sort of see a snarl coming out towards you and a last sort of...
Never seen that before.
A lot of blood. A lot of blood in front of you right now, to the point where your boots, your clothes are soaked. MacGyver, it's you go.
I will try to stab the guy.
Go right ahead. One stabby stabby. Okay, a critical. I love it when you guys roll well. So, a gaping wound. Didn't think I'd see the word gaping today. Firstly, you open up a deep gaping wound. 2 bleeding conditions until he receives surgery. I think we know what's going to happen to him. His right arm right now is just almost missing and hanging off. It's just a bit of bone there that's kind of keeping the two together, but the entirety of flesh has just been peeled off. The artery is just squirting blood all over the place, and that is going to be a pose test against him, and that will probably be enough. Not quite. He is barely hanging in. Oh, he didn't have any... No, he did have an advantage. Never mind. Is that right? Is that right? No, he was outnumbered. He's dead. He shouldn't have had that advantage. He bleeds out. He goes toward and sort of staggers forward a couple of steps, raising the blade up to try and hit you before it seems the life just washes out of him. Over in the distance, one final opponent is barely holding onto his gun, aiming it toward you. What would you like to do?
Kill him.
Yep, indeed. Radburn,
Shoot him.
it's you to go.
Yeah. Is this just plus 20?
This is plus 20, indeed. And that is a glorious hit with 12 damage, which would definitely fell him. You managed to fill him with several bullets, all into his chest, showing off some pretty impressive marksmanship as he falls to the floor with a hissing las fumes emitting from his chest.
Dang, guys, I'm getting a better anatomy lesson today than I've ever gotten in any of my training as a medic.
Don't
like
ever let the
insides of
commissars hear
body.
you saying that. If you insult the Scala one more time, they'll have to execute me instead of you. I think.
Oh, I feel so bad.
I think. Wait. No, it's execute you instead of me. I had that mixed around. Either way. Right. How's everybody feeling? Health check.
Look at all the blood. It's going to take a long time to clean that up.
Yeah, leave it for the janitors. Everybody's good to go, right? So,
Yep.
Go. Now! Go!
Okay, marching forward and onward. MacGyver, your chest hurts to a point, but you're covered in some sort of weird analgesic sticky spray. You're not exactly sure what it is, but it seems to be stopping all of the bleeding for now. It feels kind of like you've got a stitch or really bad indigestion. There's probably a bullet in your chest somewhere, but you're okay. You've had worse.
Okay.
And so...
Me, wouldn't it?
Who was the one with...
Radburn.
Oh, yeah, it was Radburn, sorry. Radburn. Yeah, MacGyver, you've just got a dicky arm. You're fine.
Yeah.
Radburn is moving around as if he doesn't have any issues in the world, but has this weird feeling of indigestion right now. So, were you guys moving double time again?
Lieutenant?
Abso-frickin-lutely.
Okay. Right. You continue to rush down several corridors. More bodies line the sides, some in various points of decay, which seems odd to you. Some have bloated stomachs, some have weird burns over their face, and yet there's no signs of, to their clothing at least, that they have been burned. And a foul, pungent smell is certainly fuming around these bodies, with numerous
Are they wearing
flies.
guard uniforms?
They are indeed. They do seem like they have met some hideous fate.
I guess we're heading towards that hideous fate, huh?
Right. As the... over to you.
Unless anybody's going to interrupt their lieutenant for things, we're going to keep moving.
Should we take some ammo, Lieutenant?
Danilo stops. Taking ammo, right? Requisition. Yeah. That's legal. I won't get executed for that. So yeah. Do that. Start searching things. Don't get dirty.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who's
Like a
searching
lawyer.
for stuff?
Can we search for ammo? Awareness? Is
Sure, you can search on the bodies for awareness. Firstly, who's searching the bodies? Who's doing so?
I will. Radburn.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Radburn and MacGyver. Firstly, I'd like you to make me an endurance test.
Sorry.
That's fine. We'll come to the awareness in a moment. Just a flat endurance test.
Ooh.
Okay. MacGyver, as you're reaching into one of the pockets of a body, you find your hand covered in a thick, oozing slime that starts burning its way into your skin. As this happens, a few flashing images come to your mind of some large, towering figure, hulking monstrosity in front of you with a large, beaming smile from either side of its face, looking down at you. It's a couple of split seconds before it disappears. We're not going to get to the point where you guys get mutated, but you've just suffered a corruption point. Radburn, you managed to avoid the majority using the butt of your weapon and the front of your blade to move things to one side. Well, could you roll me a search test as well? MacGyver, inside your hand, though, you do get another couple of charge packs for the lad's weapons. So, huzzah, you are fully equipped. Radburn, no such luck.
Damn it.
So, basically, if you run out of ammo, I'll give you some more this session, so just let me know. If you do, everyone's got enough to have an extra charge back or two, so you're fine. You can take a few moments to reload in between combat, so you won't be reloading mid-combat unless you fumble, in which case I will have much joy. But you reassemble, you're ready to go.
Cool.
Okay, we're moving out again then.
Okay.
Lieutenant, they're done.
Lieutenant, you just picking a corridor and running again? Any particular plan?
He's muted.
He's muted.
Currently looking through his primer, the lieutenant is searching for some sort of directions through a ship.
I know, right?
Where would one go? What would one need to do?
How many directions are there?
Shut up! We're going that way. And he points down the hallway,
Okay,
the direction they were originally going.
fantastic. The group of you continue marching. Only some...
What is down here?
Is that you asking the lieutenant?
Yes.
The ship stuff. Yeah.
You're really convincing me right now.
Listen, Mustache. Did you go to officer school? No, you didn't. I did. So you listen to me, and we're going this way.
Isn't that the way to the canteen?
It's a way.
I mean, if it's the canteen, that'd be great.
If we don't get to the bridge and find out what's going on, we're going to fly into a star or something. Do you want to fly into a star? I don't want to fly into a star. Let's go. Redburn? Mustache? You're on
We'll
point.
be alive long enough to know we flew into a star.
You're on point. Move.
With Radburn and Mustaka taking the lead now, it's not too far before you find that you've actually been heading backwards in the ship toward the rear. And you're approaching some form of engineering bays. You start seeing a few occasional symbols for the Mechanicus. This is their domain, the engine seers. You come to your first
Lieutenant,
chamber.
We could try and turn on the power again. Get the
intercom.
get the generators working, maybe. Get some light.
Yeah.
Are any of you sanctioned in that? Because you could get executed.
I used to repair.
Well, it's either we try and save the ship and get executed, or we don't try and save the ship and fly into a sun and get executed.
Starts reading off the lines from the primer he found before, especially mentioning at the end ship destruction.
Sure.
And then he looks up at Mustache.
Okay, so it does say that we have to at least try and restore the ship if we can.
If we can, and
So let's go see if we can. Let's go. We're already here. Why? Why would we turn around? Let's just do it.
Narrows his eyes.
Come on, you know it's a good idea. Why don't we?
Are you talking back to
repair it?
me? Are you talking back to me, Mustache?
No, sir.
Okay, that's good, because otherwise I'd have to look up what to do if you were talking back to me.
Please, no. Don't look up anything else.
All right, let's keep going then.
You press forward into a clear engine sear chamber at this point, full of control panels, consoles, numerous pieces of equipment, beeping, flashing lights everywhere. You don't really have much of a clue as to what any of it does. Looking around and surveying, it seems that there, like everywhere else, has been a fight here recently. However, you can't see anyone standing. Fortunately, it appears to be quite quiet, aside from a slight groaning noise the other side of the chamber from you. Opposite one console, which appears to be currently closed, you can hear a groaning.
Identify yourself. Mustache, identify it.
What do you mean identify it?
Mustache, identify it. Go. He snaps
What,
his
you gonna kick
fingers.
it?
Go.
What am I supposed to do?
Advance and identify.
All right, I walk up to it.
It's an engine sear. It's one of the tech crew. As far as you can tell, one of his legs seems to have been ripped off, and most of his macadendrites seem to be sort of like limp to his side. You can kind of hear a moaning and groaning coming from his face, and
engine sear, are you awake?
It's sort of mumbling through a mask. It's difficult to hear. It does sound like he's talking, but it's difficult for you to make out. He's
Hurry! You need to help me before the lieutenant pulls out his rule book. Okay, we need to know how to turn back on the generator. Hurry!
Damaged engine sear. What do I do? Starts flipping through the primer again.
One of the arms that is barely functional points towards a container on the floor that is next to him. Seems to be slightly out of his reach, and you can see he's reaching for it, or attempting to at least.
I'm gonna give it to him.
Okay, you give it to him, and almost having to move his arm for it, he motions it towards his rebreather and moves it underneath his nose, presumably, and you can hear him inhaling. Enabling analgesic protocols. That's better. By the Omnis.
Welcome back.
Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck am I? Oh, well, I'm Mustache. Gus.
Takes off his rebreather at this point to reveal, remarkably, you've not seen many of these, a still rather human pair of lips. The majority of his forehead augmented, eyes augmented.
Well,
but
that's new.
The lower part of his jaw, still flesh-ish, anyway.
Oh. So you actually do have a body still, huh? I always wondered.
My
wait.
flesh is weak.
Could I assist you? I can do medical stuff.
You'll need a tech
Make you
test
feel
in
better.
order to do anything with this.
I can tech test.
You
though.
can do a tech test to see if you could figure out some way to assist him.
That, or I could just be like, tell me how to turn on the power.
I need to get to the cogitator and soothe the machine spirits.
Maybe he's just dirty. I can have that sanitizer from the... I mean, they're all mechanical, right?
You mean like clean off like some stainless steel spray or something?
Machine spirits.
Yeah. I don't know.
They never taught us anything about machine spirits at officer school.
At this point, he's pointing towards a console on the other side of the room. You flesh bag, take me to the cogitator. The machine spirit needs me.
I could try and stabilize him before we move him. What do you think, officer, lieutenant? Thing.
Is that your medical opinion?
Yeah. I don't. If we move him, he could die.
Okay, I'm making note of that. And he takes out a data slate and starts scribbling it into the
Oh my god! All right, I'm gonna start working on him.
Yeah. Okay. This is yours.
Yeah.
One tech test. Minus 10, because this is a Mechanicus, not a standard thing that you are proficient with. Oof. He screams out a bit. Not happy. Stop it.
I have no idea what I'm looking at back here. Like, it's just I can't do anything.
The Messiah is not with you. Take me to the cogitator quickly.
All right, let's go.
MacGyver, help him.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. This guy is predominantly metal, meaning he's quite heavy. Whoever's rolling, you can have a plus 10 for an assist if two of you are doing this. But let's have a strength test with a plus 20, because there's two of you.
What's your strength, MacGyver?
I'm puny doctor.
Okay.
Yep, Bessie does it.
MacGyver with some assistance. Who's assisting him, by the way?
Me, Radcliffe.
Okay. With Radcliffe, managed to drag him over toward the chamber, toward the console. As you are making your way with, so that you've got one of his arms over each of your shoulders as you make your way along. It's like carrying a ton of bricks. This guy's pretty much predominantly augmented. And as you're carrying him over, turns his head toward MacGyver. The smell of your sweat disgusts me.
Yeah, sorry. Didn't have time to bathe properly today.
The flesh is weak and smelly. Right. Hold me. He tries to get his arms free as he starts interacting with the cogitator. Now, you carried him across the room. I'm going to need another test to see how long you can hold him up at the cogitator.
Strength or endurance?
We'll go with endurance for this, because you've done the heavy lifting, so this will be a plus 10 now. Okay. You manage to hold him there for the best part of a minute. You can notice one of his macadendrites seems to be, let's say, plugged into this cogitator. You're not exactly sure what happens. The Mechanicus are an unusual thing to you. You've never seen such workings before. But you can see him bringing up various images on the screen. We have been hit by several boarding torpedoes. By the Omnissiah's will, it is a miracle of engineering. We are still in one piece. The hull is fractured here, 32 through to 7. We have been docked by another ship. It is Imperial as well. Curious. Continues to type and search, bringing up schematics in front, showing you an image of 5 large holes in the side of the ship's hull on the starboard side. On the other
ship.
On the other side, indeed. An Imperial vessel seems to have docked with you.
Maybe the angels are here. Maybe you guys aren't crazy.
Origin classified. Attempting to establish communications, power irregular. You can see him integrating various other components of his body with the machine at this point. One boarding party has come aboard. He appears to be inside the... Continues tapping away for a while. The immunitorum. No, wait. The ministorum. Yes. Here, and points toward the screen. There is one microbead that is imperial, but not of our ship. I suspect a boarding party of sorts.
Hey, that could be rescue guys.
Yeah.
MacGyver.
We should link up with any friendly forces, or if they're unfriendly, get them off the ship.
As you are holding him, MacGyver, you feel him start to slip through you and fall to the floor.
Oh.
This is the no buts.
Can somebody help? Oh.
Table slash...
Oh no.
There we go. It seems to sort of tear open a portion of his side, and fluid starts oozing out in a rather uncontrolled manner. Flesh is too...
Oh, what did you do?
Nothing. It's just he's heavy. Come on.
He's oozing out a lot of what could be blood or fluid. You're not exactly sure. You probably have seconds.
Mustache, do something.
I already tried. I mean, I could try again.
Again, now. I'm going to command him to do that.
Okay. You can roll me a command roll as well. Yep. You get +10 for whatever you're about to do.
I don't know. I'm trying to stop him from leaking
Quick
blood
tech
oil.
test. Yeah, quick tech test to try and
Staunch
stop
the
some of this
All right, so
bleeding.
is that a 0 then?
That is a 0 now.
All right.
Doesn't seem to be enough.
Out.
He...
Do we still have the reroll mechanic or no?
Oh yeah, you've got fortune,
we
fate,
do?
resolve, yeah.
Hmm.
Is it worth it?
I don't even know how many I have. Let's see.
2,
Oh,
I
have
believe. Or you have 3 because you're lucky.
I have 3.
Yeah, medics
Yeah.
are lucky in this. Well, they can be if they purchase that talent.
Yeah.
It's up to you. He's...
So yeah, I will go ahead and I'll use 1. That's fine.
Let's have it. Same again.
Click it. Sorry. Oh, it's worse.
You managed to get him sort of propped up against the console with still one or two of one of his macadendrites sort of impaling the system. Some sort of sparks coming off of it. You assume that he's doing something technical, but you don't know how such mind interface units work. I will commune with the Omniscire. I can see him coming for me. In front of you, he starts chanting something. You're not exactly sure what.
You mean the Emperor?
He continues chanting, seems to no longer sort of recognise your presence, and sort of gradually you see the sort of colour fade from what part of a mouth still remains as he slumps and dies.
Aw. Rest in peace, techie boy.
Just let it be noted that this was based off the medical opinion of Mustache, and none of us will be held at fault for this. So we should continue. Where did he say they were again? The Munitorum? Minestrone? Okay. Right.
The minestrone.
All right. So,
Soup?
Lieutenant, there's a concept. It's called delegation. So, like, when you suck at something, let someone else do it for you.
Mustache,
like directing
shut
us.
your face right now. I'm delegating you to shut your face. So now let's meet up with the other Imperial party and then cleanse the ship.
Yeah, cleanse the ship.
And he just points in a random direction. Hopefully the
No.
storm is there.
Fortunately, Radburn, you have orientation. You know where
Yep.
it is. You know the ship. You are familiar, and you're able to provide directions.
Actually, it's over this way.
Oh, it is? Good man. That way.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I tell you what, guys, why don't we take a 5-minute breather before continuing on in our endeavours. So far the group is still alive and survived a brief encounter and aided in the death of a tech-priest, but at least got some information out of it. We'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be in chat for anyone that wants to ask questions about the homebrew, etc., and just have a little chit-chat. We'll be continuing in 5 Minuten. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. I've ditched the hat now. We're going to crack on now. As a quick recap for those of you that had missed some of the first half, the ship has seemingly been boarded during some form of conflict by several torpedoes, which seem to contain things. These things seem to have been walking and moving around the ship, killing stuff. The crew have managed to get themselves out of a container by a locker, rather, that they were arming themselves within, with a little bit of luck, and defeat some lowly foes that they met, before finding a engine sear and establishing that there is one individual aboard this ship, or at least one microbead, that is not of this ship's origin, but is of Imperial design. They now make their way to the ship's ministorum, which is unfortunately not far off a kilometre away, so it's going to take a little while. Guys, over to you.
Boy, it's a shame from the engine dude. We seem to really like cleanliness.
Right. Yeah. So now we are. We should go meet the other boarders on our side, not the enemy. Bradburn, MacGyver, you're on point.
Yes, sir.
What is the formation? What is the rate of travel here? Are you marching forwards as before? Are you going further ahead to scout? What's your current plan?
Lieutenant.
I already said the plan.
Okay.
They're up front.
You're on point.
We're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we just running ahead, or have we got a chance to scout a little bit?
Do you can scout?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, scout. I command you. Scout ahead.
Okay, I'll move ahead of the group then.
You can roll a stealth if you wish to spy and investigate your surroundings.
Any just flat?
You have some bonuses to some things. Given that the power is down and it is dark, and you do have night vision giving you somewhat of an advantage, I will allow you to move within the shadows, gaining you a plus 20.
Okay, fantastic.
Slightly more cautious base, and a very good roll. A very good roll indeed. A plus 6 giving you the best possible outcome. You spot a patrol up ahead, seeing it disappear down one of the corridors. Look to your left, to your right, and you can hear some other noises coming down from the left. The middle pathway of this fork seems to be the only one silent, and you cannot find anyone within it after scouting through. Those are your findings. To your left, to your right, pretty sure that there are some thugs or someone thing, you don't know, in their central pathway, most likely uninhabited.
Is it the central pathway we need to be taking?
Any would do, but the central is the most direct, but you could get there either way.
Okay, I'll rejoin with the group then. Lieutenant, looks like the middle path, the fastest, is clear. There's potential raiding parties on the left and right forks.
Clear path or raiding parties? We need to.
We can
deal
the
with others,
fastest as well.
But we should also cleanse the enemy. And he's gonna pull out his primer again.
Let's have a primer roll. I'm going to give you... wow! Okay. So with a natural 1, let's say that you are kind of duty-bound to defend this place, but you're pretty sure, using a couple of loopholes, that it's fine to go get reinforcements with a view to then defend. So you kind of get the feeling that actually it might be a little bit more effective to cleanse this ship if you can get some sort of backup first. And
okay.
You're absolutely certain you won't get executed for it.
Right. So we'll take the center path and we'll get to where we need to get to faster. So full march, get go.
Okay.
This
sir.
guy.
The group of you make your way forward. It's dark. Small screens provide a small amount of illumination either side, as well as the occasional emergency lighting, which typically has its own small power supply that might last up to a day before going dead. The majority of lighting currently inactive. As you move down this corridor, which seemingly is very silent, you arrive after some half hour of moving cautiously and taking care to follow the instructions of Radburn at each twist and turn thanks to his +6. You even on your way, Radburn, spot a trap. Managing to make your way around it, it seemed to be a grenade tied to a fuse and a piece of string. Somewhat crude, but you've seen similar traps laid in the ship's hull to try and cleanse potential uninvited guests from areas they should not be wandering to. But you're able to defuse it, move forward as a group. That is because you have the talent for Trapper, by the way. And you were successfully stealthy. About 5 minutes away from your destination, you reach a scene that seems to be the size of a large battle. Bodies now are perhaps in their 100, littering the corridor. These similar to the others, bloated, abdomens perhaps the size of a large beach ball. Some of the arms seem to have been disintegrated and blended somewhat with this weird fungus that's growing up the side of the walls, in certain places at least. Strange spores seem to be floating through the air as well, with a putrid smell. It's horrifying to see. But ahead through the corridor is your destination.
Do we have rebreathers as part of our kits?
At least a couple of you do.
Looking in my bag now. Do I have anything? Because this freaking reeks.
Let's have a look. What do you have?
I got filtration plugs.
That'll do. Filtration. They basically, you shove them up your nostril and they'll do the trick. So that'll do for you. We have. Unfortunately, the lieutenant doesn't have any rebreather. And we have... Oh, MacGyver does, coming prepared. And Radburn, lots of bullets, but no rebreather. So 2 of you do.
Okay. Cover your mouths as best you can. This looks disgusting.
It
smells fine to me.
It might help if you piss on the cloth and then put it in front of your face.
I'd rather risk it.
As a medical advisor, I would say that's a good idea.
That's your medical opinion?
Yeah, my medical opinion is that pissing on a rag and then covering your face with it is a good idea.
MacGyver, you still have that disinfectant?
Yep.
All right.
Sir, here you go.
Disinfect us up some cloths that we can wear around our mouths. Get to it now.
Yes, sir. And he drinks some mouth cap. Oh, one.
No, I don't actually mean do it, you jerks.
Does he drink
I only
it?
have to make one.
Do you let him drink it?
Wait, he's drinking it?
No, I'm not drinking it. I'm putting the disinfectant on some rag and then...
Yeah, you were dunking it.
You're able to pull out of your backpack a spare uniform that you're able to fashion into a couple of masks, taking care to rip it outside of the lieutenant's vision. Actually, you'll have some cleaning cloths too. That's probably a better choice.
Yeah.
You have some bandit-style face masks now. Not quite standard uniform, but might smell a bit better.
Do we get a high from the cleaning solution?
Very much so.
Actually, this cleaning solution is meant to like clean ships and like metal. I wonder if it burns your face.
I mean,
I would imagine you have to wear gloves while using it.
We can wait and see. Equivalent of 40k glue sniffing, pretty much.
All right.
This will be interesting to see. It'll be yet another anatomy lesson provided by you guys.
You're bringing up the rear.
What? Oh, man.
Okay.
And we usher to continue.
Okay. You continue making your way through bodies. Now, at this point, they are littering the floor in almost a sea of flesh, having to carefully place your feet one between the other. I'm going to ask you all to make a agility test to see if you're able to sort of successfully...
Not fall into a body.
Yeah, exactly. Not step on something or like fall over or slip. Just
athletics?
Athletics, yeah, we'll do athletics.
Flat.
Flat roll.
What if my agility's higher?
Okay. Yeah, to be fair, agility would make more sense, but you're all roughly the same stats, so it's fine for today.
All right.
Okay, we'll start with the success of your lieutenant, basically able to tiptoe between them with a degree of finesse. Well done.
This guy.
Mustaka? Oh no, we do have a fumble mixed in here as well. It's technically not a fumble because it's not combat, but still, the rest of you, each crunching on body parts every now and again. Mustaka, your foot unfortunately meets with the abdomen of one of these bloated, hideous corpses and sinks down through the stomach, sort of piercing it as it almost erupts around your leg, spewing out a sort of gross liquid all around the floor. You can feel your boot is drenched. Looking down at your boot, into the stomach of this corpse, something looking back at you. Small, snarling teeth, and the noise that makes you pretty much piss yourself. Around you...
Oh my god, what is this thing? Get it off me!
It lunges for your leg, reaching two small, tiny arms around it. It's kind of the size of a baby. Around you, you hear several sort of... as all of the bodies begin to erupt. Thing? It's gross, it's foul, it smells disgusting, and I'm trying to find the bloody token for it. It's not fair, it's not a game without swarms. Right. All around you, the bodies start erupting. They look towards you in a hungry manner, licking their lips. Let's have some better music for this. And start running toward you. Let's see who's going to react first, and if I can get the combat tracker correct this time. Not that it's the combat tracker's fault, it is mine. Right. It is... Yeah, the nurgling on 0 is at the end. We'll go with the order as is. Danilo, it is you to go first. We shall begin combat. What are you up to?
The first thing I would like to ask is, who amongst this party has drilled?
Drilled?
No one, but you can give the benefit to anyone.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, the way we'll roll with it today, so anyone that you're next to will get the benefit.
Okay, then as long as everybody remains within base contact, you won't lose at least one advantage from auto damage, as far as I'm reading this.
You'll basically never lose one advantage if you're next to your lieutenant.
Right.
It works slightly different in fantasy, that you have to have it as well, but for the purposes of this, if you stay near your lieutenant, he's basically going to be ordering and providing instructions as you move, and you'll always be able to keep a slight upper hand. Basically, you'll never lose one advantage, but you still need to earn it. So, Danilo, you don't need to do anything for this effect. It is...
Correct.
Passive.
Danilo is going to just start screaming, "Kill them all! Kill them all! Kill them all!" and swing his chainsaw.
Okay. A group of 3 of them are down
on
the floor in front of you. Absolutely.
Yes.
You don't need to move. These things are all around you right now. You are completely covered from head to toe. -4, a reasonable amount of damage though. Let's see how we do here. Opposed by -2. Unfortunately, swinging your blade, misjudging how high they are, they're quickly able to move their heads out the way, ducking underneath, giving them 1.
The primer didn't say anything about children-sized enemies.
Okay, and even though they're all around you, just as a point of awareness, because they've not attacked you yet, you're not engaged, so you can use ranged weapons without penalty. It is now Mustaka. Your go.
Ooh, so Mustaka's going to shoot at them then, since...
Okay.
Yeah, we're
It
not engaged
is
yet.
a swarm, so you have an obscene amount of bonuses to shoot them, of +40,
Okay.
and you're basically capped at +60 to shoot them. And they're also at point blank.
I like the sound of that, yeah. Let's just do it. +60.
And don't forget to target one as well.
Yes, good point. Good call. I almost did that again.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, they may fluff the dodge. I think that's certainly a thing. Are you shooting the one north or south?
That was the one south. I
Okay.
already have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we are going to make a dodge test to try and mitigate this. -1. So you do technically hit them for a minuscule amount of damage. 4. Meaning
Yay!
you do manage to. One of them's just eyeing up your lieutenant, licking its lips, getting ready to jump.
I just went after the one on my foot.
Yeah, fine. Fine. You get one advantage, though, as you manage to take off the one that's closest to you. Radburn, it's you to go.
Get off me!
I think I'm just going to spray down the corridor at the one to the north.
Okay, open fire, +60 to shoot.
And is that going full auto?
That is... I forget if your weapon has full auto. I'm pretty sure it does. You have semi-auto, so with semi-auto, it would be +50. Still a lot.
Okay. So if I do easy and then a +10 modifier,
Sounds good.
because I can't do
Yeah,
50.
yeah, it's easier to do it in the modifier sometimes. 13 damage, and that will be 3 hits as well. And they are point blank, so they will be opposing that using a dodge test as well. So we're going to go bippity boppity boo there. Oh, very good. So we're starting this. You're doing an opposed test, and that is against the Nurglings. 17 damage, and that is pop, pop. Oh, last one. You're able to spray your weapon and take out the vast majority of them in one hit, thanks to a very good roll from yourself and a very poor roll from them in response. Fantastic shooting. Very easy to take them down from here, just with several rounds of your weapon. MacGyver, it's you to roll.
Well, seeing the plethora of demon children, he's going to reach down to his belt to see if he's got enough ammo, and his hand touches a grenade. So he thinks a grenade is maybe a good idea.
Absolutely. You can go ahead and roll me your grenade. As you,
Please don't kill me.
it is a frag grenade. Only a fumble will result in something bad happening. It is quite easy to place it, so you do get a plus 40. You don't get the range bonus as well because throwing range is not particularly long, but a decent roll. And there, a few of them do see it land in their midst and attempt to jump out the way of it. So they are going to oppose this with a dodge. Oof. Okay, absolutely certain to be SL of 4. So, no, we didn't roll. So we have damage and impact on this, so that's definitely enough to take them out. Pop, they are definitely dead. It lands right in the middle of them, and several start sort of making their way, clambering over the bodies to try and escape, and they are just blasted to the walls, splatting at the top, sides. This sort of weird green mess left where their bodies were as they start fizzing and hissing into a puddle of disgusting slime. Right. We have a swarm that is about to have a good go for you. It's going to go for the lieutenant first, I believe. Right. Let's go here and pop. Okay, lieutenant. Okay. Let's have a defensive roll.
Hey,
nice!
Crit.
You are on fire today. That will basically just manifest as extra damage to them. So that's the correct damage to begin with. And they were attacking, so that doesn't really help too much for them. So there we go. Danilo, it is you to go now.
Gonna swing.
Oh, it's the top of the round.
Oh, yeah. Right, so we should have at least taken damage.
Yes, sorry. Mustaka and Danilo, you both take 1 damage.
Yep. So.
And you keep your advantage, though.
Correct.
As a couple of them manage to make their way onto your legs, climbing on, just trying to sink their teeth through your flak armour and shin pads, a couple of them making small bite marks on you. And just before the round officially starts, there are noises from down the corridor of other things, let's say. You get the impression that this pile of bodies perhaps goes on for a long distance.
Excellent.
Let me just add them to the initiative order for this round. There we go. They'll be going at the end. Marvellous. Right, so now we are officially on Danilo. Let's go.
So Danilo will be swinging his sword wildly at the Nurglings and, while screaming at his men, "Keep firing, assholes. Just keep firing!" Okay.
Let's have a go. 14. Nice. And armour they are going to oppose by trying to bite you in return. It's still a decent blow on them, so you're going to manage to... Yeah, nice. You manage to cleave about 3, probably out of 20 of them, pretty much in half. And little bits of guts go flying, and you can hear your chainsaw sort of easily making their way through their flesh, leaving these small, weird, hissing bodies behind. Right, Mustaka, it's you to go.
Lieutenant, you're doing absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and... so we're now engaged in melee, correct? Or I haven't been attacked
you
directly
haven't been
yet?
attacked, so you don't count as engaged.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and las carbine them.
Actually, I would say, given that you took auto damage from them and it's a swarm...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You are engaged. Yeah, you are.
All right, so it would combat knife then.
Yeah. I mean, you can fire with a -20 in combat. You don't get point blank, though, so you would be on a +20 in total. It's up to you.
What about disengaging?
Well, where could I move to? I mean, I don't really know how much distance is between us and Radburn.
You could, yeah, you could.
MacGyver.
In terms of where you could position to, some others are coming from down the corridor, but you could distance yourself the other side of MacGyver and use him as a shield. But then you would be placing yourself in harm's way for whatever's coming down the corridor. So basically, you don't have much choice. You could disengage, but you would be using the two, your scout and guardsman, as a cover. But again, you'll be in harm's way for whatever's coming down the corridor, so...
no, I'm just going to go ahead and combat knife these guys. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll las carbine with +20
yeah.
instead of certain
See, it's
amounts.
-20 for combat, but +40 because they're a swarm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A reasonable hit. And, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. Okay, managed to definitely take out another one of them by putting a few shots into it. It falls to the floor in a hissing mess. Las rifle seems to make easy work of them. And Nurglings, in response, they're gonna attack you. Actually, because they're large, they can sort of move back and move in again. So a couple of the ones that are at the back, effectively, are going to run forward, charging onto you, gaining one advantage due to some weird twisting of the rules. Let's have a defense roll from you, Mustaka.
What should I roll?
You can oppose with whatever you like. Not a ranged weapon, I would say, but you could dodge. You could do your combat knife roll.
Yeah, my dodge would be a lot higher than
Dodge it is.
Combat knife. All right. No difficulty changes, I don't think.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nice. The crit doesn't damage them. You are even. Who has the higher base skill? We'll find out via opposing the test. You win.
Yeah, I critted.
You are okay. You easily manage to push them off of you as they're making their way onto you. Simple, small, the size of children, you're able to kick and shove them back quite easily. Unfortunately for them, that's the end of their turn. Ratburn, it's you to go.
Baby.
At the end of the corridor, there is a lot more of them.
Fantastic. Can I, I'll burst fire down the corridor then, I guess.
Another 3 shots, absolutely, plus 60 to hit.
60, or was it 50?
We'll say 60, because you get range as well as mass.
Okay, I'll take out that modifier I put in before then.
Right, not being point blank, this deals 10 damage. So not quite so easy to hit them so far away. You're able to chunk down quite a few, but there are a lot of them. They keep coming. MacGyver, it's you to go.
Was that a couple of hits because of burst?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the reminder indeed. That was a couple of hits indeed. There you go. Managed to take down another couple because I didn't spot. No, actually, technically that's 3 hits. So there you go. Right, a decent chunk of damage and an advantage for you too. MacGyver.
Yep.
It is you to go.
I'd like to throw another grenade.
Okay. Click on the grenade, please. Should be in your weapons somewhere.
Yep, I've got it.
Marvellous, because it has damaging and impact. It saves me doing a whole bunch of maths.
Yep.
It's going to be a bit of an advantage and a bit of a disadvantage. What was the plus you rolled on that, or was that flat?
That's only the 10 for the advantage.
Okay, that was only for advantage, fine, because they're also easier to hit, but it is a bit of a longer distance, so that would have cancelled out. So you still managed to hit for a glorious 16 damage. And...
yeah, I didn't oppose.
That's fine. We will just do 16 damage that will be minus... Actually, it will be opposed by dodge because it's a grenade. That is one of my rules I'm rolling with. So a -1. So there we go. 17 damage. Poof. Another few of them go flying and largely in pieces now, shredded into small little green bits of flesh, splattering around the ceiling, the walls. Again, decorating this with a filthy green slime. There's about half of them you've taken out. Good job. Right. And in response, they're going to charge towards you. And MacGyver. They are going to make a swing. I say a swing. Several of them are going to jump onto your leg and try and bite it. Oof. Easily kicking and shoving them off. Your training kicking in. Gaining you another advantage. They don't manage to connect their blow. My NPCs are a bit rubbish today. This is good. Lieutenant Danilo, it is you to go again.
Keep fighting! It's going to take a swing.
Okay.
Again.
Another chainsword swing.
Actually, hold on. I just need to fix my advantage back to 1. And lose a health.
Oh, by the way, yeah, you're down to 1 advantage again, Mr. Medic, because you take 1 wound for being in base contact with them. But you keep 1 because you've got someone drilled next to you. Did you do a wound, Danilo?
I did.
Okay, so that would be the 2nd wound you've lost. Marvellous. Right. Have a swing. We're going to oppose with a bite. -5. Oof. Okay, well, you still managed to hit with a reasonable amount of damage. It could have been better. Still, 13. Another 6. You managed to take down a few more as they're trying to climb their way on top of you. Swiping left, swiping right, you managed to parry them off. Mustaka, it's you to go.
Mustaka is going to rinse and repeat.
Okay. Was this the blade, or are you shooting them with a rifle? I forget.
I'm going to shoot them with the rifle because
Plus 20 in total then.
Exactly.
I'll oppose that with a bite. Okay, we do manage to hit. Barely. So you're able to just sort of take out a lone one. Unfortunately, they are seeming to outnumber you and gradually sort of climbing their way on top of each other. Things are... You're managing to hold them back and whittle them down, but they're still like encircling you all. Still rather terrifying. Nurgling at the south on Lieutenant Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Have at thee. Oh, Jesus Christ. -4. Right.
Did I get an advantage from that last attack I did?
Yes, you would.
Okay, so I'd have 2 for this defense.
Yep.
Done.
Updated. Right. Let's have a defensive roll as 3 of them try to just leap on you. An impressive leap.
Reroll that.
You're going to reroll. Okay.
Change the point later.
Will it be another crit? Okay. Successfully defending against them. You're able to fend them off with the whirring of your chainsaw, building quite a bit of advantage again. Radburn, there's you to go. You are now engaged in melee.
Okay.
Oh, and that reminds me, apologies. You'll be down to 1 advantage and you'll have taken 1 wound because they're in melee contact with you. Likewise, because you're all fighting back to back, you keep 1 advantage because you're a lieutenant. The Nurglings are engaged. Right, Radburn, it's you to go.
Okay. Do I get any bonuses to melee?
Melee, no, it's only bonus to ranged, actually. So range would be plus 20, melee would be normal. Okay, so this was your combat knife, and they're going to try and bite you in return. Yeah, okay, well that'll do. So you managed to win. Basically able to get one of them and just sort of stab it in the head. There's still a lot more of them though. Hard to get hold of, small and slippery. MacGyver!
Yeah, can I semi-auto into the swarm?
You can indeed, for a plus 20 in total. It would be more, but you're technically in melee with them, so that will do. And it will be opposed. Okay, nice. And that will be opposed by 0. Right, were you doing a semi-auto?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a critical here. Ear wounds, so say for the sake of argument, one of them gets its head clean blown off. And for the rest, we have opposed this and another 9 damage. Apply. Okay, there we go. Another 1 or 2 are taken down. So nearly there. There's just a few left around you now. Still looking frenzied, sort of eyeing you up and licking their lips. Determined to bite you. They continue. Nurglings, attack. This is against MacGyver, seeing as you just took aim at them. Okay. They do manage to hit for 5 damage, so 1 damage gets through. Barely. One of them just latches onto your leg. And
oh, wait. Shouldn't I have 2 advantage now because I had a successful attack?
You did. In which case, you avoid the hit.
Yay!
Didn't add the advantage in time. Congratulations. Lieutenant.
And lose it now.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. So down to 1.
Nearly done. There's about 5 left in front of you.
Everybody's still fighting? And another swing.
Okay.
No, we're standing here.
He's got tunnel vision. What do you want?
Nice. And now we oppose. Oh. Alright. Still 12 damage though. Why is that not taken? That's definitely not taken that off. There we go.
I forgot the target, didn't I?
No, I did the opposed test here, so it should have worked, but let me just try that one more time. Tick, tick. 12 damage. Apply. Meh.
Yep.
There we go. Anyway, oh, it's taking it off of the other Nurglings. That's why. Right, never mind. We'll give them a few more hit points. That'll do. Mustaka. Ah, and by the way, both of you would have taken 1 damage again, because this was the top of the round. Okay, you've done that. Marvellous.
Mustaka is going to head and lay some las carbine again. Just
okay.
Spray and pray.
Nearly done. Okay, managed to hit another one. Not the best roll, actually. Oh, Mustaka against you, 4 damage. Oof. Not the best roll. But you gain yourself an advantage.
Hey, Lieutenant, look, I hit one.
And they're going to bite you in return. Right, -2. Defensive roll from you, Mustaka?
Mustaka is going to dodge.
I'm determined for them to hit once, because they do have a nice roll. Yes, a hit.
I'm going to re-roll that.
Yeah, sure. It's probably a good idea.
Just to take that from you.
Just to take away that small pleasure. Fair enough. Yeah, you easily dodge out the way just to mock your GM, and they sort of jump to one side, just flying past you, landing on the floor. Radburn, you're in melee. There's about 3 of them left in front of you. Easy to take down. What are you going to do?
Can I burst them with the rifle since the...
You can indeed. They're going to oppose by trying to bite you, rather successfully actually. So +20 for you to have a shot. I'm assuming semi-auto.
Burst again.
Burst, yeah.
Can I burst?
Yeah, it should be a -10 technically, but
well, there you go.
We'll take the crit, which is 5 wounds, 7 damage. Yep, dead. That'll be enough to finish off that group, as you're able to just neatly place a shot into each of them. There we go. I was just wondering where the music had gone. MacGyver. There's none left in front of you anymore. Radburn seems to have neatly placed a shot into each of the 3 that were in front. Behind you, you can hear your lieutenant and medic fighting off a few others.
I'm going to turn around, and if I move to the side a bit, like this, can I...
Can have a pop.
Okey-doke.
-10 for the modifier, +60 for everything else. It's -10 for moving.
Okay.
And we'll ignore the shooting it and melee stuff for now, because that's... Whoa.
Oh, I didn't oppose again. Oh, crap.
That's fine. Not your finest moment, though. You managed to put a shot into one. It doesn't even fall over. It manages to put a hole through its stomach, and it just looks back toward you. Right. It's not their go yet. It's same to Mustaka and Lieutenant. You each take a wound again. Before it is the Lieutenant's go. One good swing with your chainsword will finish them off.
And that's what will happen. Hopefully.
Okay.
Oh, he finally rolls badly.
And they fumbled.
And they fumbled. You dealt for
Not bad enough.
Easily. Wow. Okay. So what happened to them, just for comedic value? Okay, 2 of them seem to start fighting towards each other with a degree of animosity and start tearing each other in parts. You managed to swipe the other 3, cleaving them in 2, and the other 2 just seemingly bicker in front of each other. Tear each other to pieces in front of you in some sort of confused argument. Odd, but... No, I would say you've seen weirder, but you haven't.
So that just happened. Right. He just starts flipping through his primer again. What do I do? What do I do? Green children. Snotlings? Do we have fire?
I could try the sanitizer.
Is it flammable?
We can try.
You said there were fires?
You don't
at one point in the
have
hallway?
any. Not around you currently.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Nothing's currently set ablaze, but...
We'll come back to it. Fire on a ship. That's a good thing. Right. Forward. We keep moving forward.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You make your way forwards. Not too far from the Ministorum now, you eventually arrive at a large pair of double doors. There are a few other bodies as you go past, but you're able to simply deal with the small amount of these critters that are easily dispatched along the way. There's only sort of 1 or 2 individuals now. Some of them even seem to be moving in other directions, sort of scampering away and, I wouldn't say hiding, but observing you from a distance. It is your choice. The doors to the Ministorum are right in front of you. It appears to be that you are relatively safe. Clearly being watched, but...
Doc, have you got something for my arm?
Yeah, forget your arm for now. Go check the door out. MacGyver, you watch our rear.
Yes, sir.
Let's have a perception from MacGyver, or awareness. See what you can see. Who's checking the door?
I will. Do you want an awareness from me as well?
Yeah, let's have an awareness, just to see if you want to just kind of like peep through. Radburn? Firstly, MacGyver, you pretty sure that coast is clear. All is well. Everything's nice and quiet. Radburn, you can't see anything inside the chamber, but you can hear could be people talking in there. Difficult to tell. If anything, perhaps 1 individual. Maybe 2. Maybe more. You're not sure.
Lieutenant, there's voices inside.
Voices. Were they speaking Gothic?
I can't make them out.
Okay. Can we get the door open? Will it open? Is it locked?
Is it?
It's a big heavy door, but no, it's open. No tests required. You can simply push it open. Takes like both arms and a lot of your strength, but yeah, you can walk right in.
Okay. Don't open it fully. Just enough, and I'll yell through. Ready?
Okay. Can we sneak through, or is this door going to make a lot of noise when we push it?
It's going to be fairly apparent that you're opening a large door. Think of like a large stone door that's like 12 foot high, double door. So you can like...
So like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, there's going to be some like awkward creaking. Let's say more stone grinding, just for sort of a badass grimdark effect. But yeah, it's going to be hard to miss.
And is it dark in the room beyond, or is it...
There are a few lights.
Okay. So I'm going to move in. Just inside the door, not like running full for the Emperor into the middle of it. Just to clarify.
Okay. Right. In front of you are, as you enter, you're inside a large chapel. This appears to actually be one of the engine seer's sort of departments, a shrine to the Omnissiah in front of you, but more perhaps curiously, there are 2 individuals stood there, sort of looking towards each other. Ooh, that's not the token I want. Let's update him a little bit.
Thank God.
Really hope not.
It's not too far from it, though.
Looks angry.
That's better. Right. 2 individuals stood next to each other. One wearing large imperial, heavily adorned power armour. A hulk of a man. Perhaps some 6-7 feet tall, at least. And seemingly that much wide as well. In front of him, a decrepit-looking creature, covered in a mixture of tattoos and skulls. He has a strange appendage of one arm, somewhat resembling a mutation, giving almost 2 hands, or perhaps even just an extra array of fingers. He has multiple piercings over the front of his flesh, and rings hang down with chains that are again adorned with skulls. The 2 of them are currently conversing, but the more decrepit of the 2 looks towards you. Inquisitor, you have some friends. Be quiet. He looks toward you, the man in power armor.
Identify yourself.
Squints at you for a second and then ignores you, looks back toward the creature, grabs him by the throat. Inquisitor, there's no need to be rude. Have you come to accept my offer? Silence. Squeezes his throat and you can hear sort of a couple of cracks coming from it. Looks behind the old decrepit creature behind you. My friends have arrived. And pulls this weird, unusual grin. Yes, we will be doing corruption tests, but now is something. Now is time for something else. You look behind you.
Time for us to die.
Let me just see if I have a slightly more open map that I can move us to. Ministorum. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Yeah, let's do that. And let's just pop them back on. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. I just wanted a little bit more space. Right, what's the formation, guys? Who's on point?
I was lost.
That would be me. Sorry,
okay.
I was muted. I went through just slipped through the door first.
Okay, through the door first. We'll go with something like that. As all of you look behind, stood within the doorway which you'd come through, a huge hulking mass, somewhat similar to the creature you had seen smouldering on the floor before. One of its arms, a dangling tentacle, or tentacles, about 4 to 5, all resting and sort of draping on the floor, as it currently has the door open with one of its arm pushing it to one side. Either side of it, 2 small humanoid individuals with horns and a mutated, grisly-looking skin all look toward you. They're probably about 15 meters away currently. I'm just going to move the tokens over so we've got a little bit more room to navigate. At this point, the large individual in power armor looks back toward you. Hold them busy. Keep them busy. I will deal with this cretin. And you can hear him at this point begin chanting something. The individual with, now you're a little bit closer, Radburn, you can see bright white eyes, seemingly no pupils. You can see him start to writhe and squeal in a degree of pain as this individual who is gripping his neck begins chanting. It's a language you don't understand, something that is alien to you and yet feels somewhat familiar. Behind you, though, these creatures start lurching forward and make their move toward you. Alright, we'll ignore his turn as he grips this foul creature's throat. The larger of the beasts that has come through the door lurches forward, moving at the pace of a man sprinting but simply only bounding on each of the legs. You can hear it shaking the entire chamber. It's 50-50, MacGyver or Danilo. So we're going to do a... We're just picking a target. 1 to 50 will be MacGyver. Okay, MacGyver it is. Swap these two. Coming charging towards you, MacGyver. This foul-looking abomination of flesh. It's going to make a swing at you. And this is a large creature.
Oh boy!
Oh, good. It's going to be minus 20 to defend with a weapon, or you can dodge flat. It's your choice.
I'm gonna dodge.
You're going to dodge. No modifiers needed, just a flat dodge. You successfully dodge and jump out of the way. And seemingly it manages to lose its advantage and somehow stagger as it moves. You see one of the tentacles even catching a piece of its own flesh, just ripping it off. At this point you notice tentacles coming out of the mouth as well. disgusting, foul. By the way, I'd ask you to make a valor test, MacGyver.
Yep.
This is scary.
Haha! For
You
the Emperor!
hold your ground. The sight of someone in power armor just behind you is enough to instill you with a little bit of hope and a little bit of fear. We'll do the valor test for the rest of you as and when it's your turn, just because this thing has charged toward you. You can hear hissing and struggling. It's garbled. Another language starts coming out of his mouth, although muffled by the squeezing and cracking noises coming from his throat, as it sounds like his bones are breaking by the grip of this powered armour. Radburn, it is you to go. Firstly, can we have a valor test, please? A marginal fail, giving you only one condition. You could use a resolve to remove it. Or you can run away.
I'll just use the resolve.
A bit of meta there, but to save the faffing. You're able to remove your fear condition, so you're not broken. What would you like to do?
Burst into that militant.
Okay. Now, it is engaged in combat, but it is a bit large, so it's a bit easier to hit. So we're going to say, for the sake of argument, you can shoot its top half, which isn't engaged with MacGyver. So you're going to be firing close range for a plus 20, and it is also large, plus 30.
So 50 overall then.
That would be, sorry, a 20 and a 10, so 30.
Oh, 20 and a 10, so
Yeah.
30 overall. Okay. Let's just do it this way. Yeah.
Right, and that is 7.
Burst as well.
A flurry of bullets, unfortunately not enough to hit it more than once. A small chunk of its flesh is peeled open by one of the bullets, but seemingly it shrugs it off with very little effect from the pain. Or from the hit, rather. Right, where's my bloody combat tracker? Come back here. Mustaka, it is you to go.
I'm gonna go ahead and inject a stim into MacGyver in front of me.
Okay. Yes, you should certainly do that. Go right ahead. You can just quickly load up your tranq gun and just quickly jab it in his leg. Sure, you can do that.
Right in his buttocks. There we go.
And
all right,
stim.
so that's, what do I have to roll? I think it's 3d10 or something.
Yes. You've got to jab it in his leg, so I'm gonna say you can roll a Medicae with like. You've only got to inject him. It's a free action. I don't need you to make a test. Like, it is just.
No. But it's for how long it lasts.
Ah, right. Okay. I haven't changed the description, but the system I'm going to use in this is it increases their initiative by 1, basically by 10. So it's the effect of boosting them in the combat order. And we'll have some stun resist, so we'll just modify you. Initiative value 1.
There you go. That's all I needed to do.
MacGyver, you've already had your go, but next you do feel an instant surge of adrenaline as you've been jabbed in the side of the leg. Your veins are pumping right now. Your fists are like filled full of blood.
Can I shoot him, or is it?
You have been charged, so you can shoot him. So you would have shooting in melee would be the -20, but he's large, so it would only be a -10.
Okay.
But you could shoot him.
Still better if I shoot him, I think.
Quite possibly.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
In response, it's going to be flailing a number of tentacles back and forth, trying to reach you with one or two of the suckers. You can see them sort of hitting the floor by the side of you and peeling off, even bending the metal with it.
Yeah, it's plus 10 plus my advantage, right?
Yeah, the advantage will be automatic, or hopefully would be, but maybe not. But yes, it would be plus a total of
20.
Yeah, that'll do. And in response, is able to block the amount of blows, the amount of shots you're putting out with the size of this trunk of tentacles. You shoot them into it, but it's seemingly having no effect. Right. He's going to take an advantage for that. Right. Who have we got coming up next? First, we are going to Lieutenant. A small humanoid, no longer wearing any form of uniform, with grotesque horns coming out of his left arm, as well as that number of pustulant sores, comes charging towards you. Can I have a valor roll, please, to see if you're going to stay in this fight or disappear? It's not actually your go yet, but it just feels like a good time to do it. Fantastic.
Wow.
When it comes to your turn, I'll give you an advantage, but it's technically not your turn yet. Just because you rolled a crit and it feels good. Right, charging toward you. That would be a +10 technically. So I actually need to change that to a 50 here. But that is a crit too. So our first crit on a player. Fantastic. 10 damage too. Can you oppose that for me, Lieutenant?
Should I have an advantage or no?
Not yet. It's not your turn yet. I went out of turn for your fear test. Right. So let's have a see if you... right, it does manage to hit you because it had the better base number, but it only hits you for 1 damage aside from the crit. So that's the good news. You can use a reroll to give you a +1 SL if you wish. It's up to you. You will still take the crit either way.
I'll take the crit. It's fine. 1 damage?
Yeah, so 1 damage, and let's see what the crit is. Now, for the crit system, you have your armor value, so what you can do is choose to burn some of the armor, so this body part will no longer be armored, but it will give you a negative to the roll, so it's up to you if you would like to burn some armor points in order to soak some of this.
You said that's on the torso, so
yeah.
Because of good quality flak, I do have a spare armor point on the torso. Let's burn it.
So you're just going for a -10 to the roll, effectively. So what we'll have to do is see what the roll is first, 65, and then we'll -10 to that. Does anyone have the body critical chart open for Warhammer Fantasy right now?
Yep.
Perfect. Could you look up, please, a roll of 55 on the chest?
55 on the chest is cracked rib.
Oof.
3 wounds, and the hit cracks 1 or more ribs. Gained a stun condition, gain a broken bone, minor injury.
Okay. So
can I burn resilience?
You can, to just basically never take the hit.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. So the hit never came. The resilience, technically I think it's a... No, you can ignore the critical with a resilience. Absolutely. You ignore it. You still lost the test, so he gains 1 advantage. He did charge as well, so he has 2.
And I still took 1 damage.
And you still took that 1 damage, yeah.
Did I burn the armor point still?
Yes, so your chest is now 4.
Okay, done.
Right. Second Pestilenitent is going to charge in. Musaka!
No!
Screeching... Horrible noises coming out of it. Disgusting. Holding a primitive club in one hand and an axe in another, it takes a swing toward you. Not a very good one, but let's have a defensive roll of your choice, and let's also have a valor test let's have a valor test first, in fact, to see if you pee your pants. Because I think I forgot yours, didn't I?
I peed my pants.
Yeah. So because I forgot it, on your next turn you'll be broken. You have I think 5 conditions, or is that only terror that applies multiple conditions? I think it's only terror. So you're broken, but on your next turn you can always use valor to defend. For now you held your ground because I forgot it. So let's have your defensive roll. Easily able to do so, netting you 1 advantage, which will help forthcoming situations. Right, and Lieutenant Danilo, you now get your 1 advantage because you rolled a crit for your... that's not one of my rules, but I like it for now, so you've got an advantage because you did so well on that test. So, you managed to hold your ground despite all of these things coming charging towards you. What are you going to do? He's busy on that primer again, isn't he?
Sorry, I was muted.
It's all good. Danilo, what are you up to?
He is doing exactly what the unnamed figure with the authoritative voice told him to do, which is hold the line.
Hold the line. Okay, let's have your attack.
Target first. Target big guy. I think I'm touching him, right?
You're touching the smaller of the two, not the large one.
Not the large one. Okay.
Yeah, smaller of the two.
I will do the chainsword on him.
Decent hit. And not quite an adequate defense, so you do manage to land a blow, dealing 14 damage. Dealing a whopping great big chunk through his leg. A huge gash as the chainsword tears flesh out of him. Decent. He staggers on the spot and smiles back at you in return. Seemingly unfazed by your attack, at least mentally.
Super creepy.
At this point, we're going to go with a command roll. He tries to say something towards your direction. He starts speaking before the rancid individual he's holding on to sort of starts speaking over him even more loudly in his own weird and strange tongue. You can't make out what the power-armoured individual has said. Right, MacGyver.
Yep.
Prepare to die. You are being smacked by...
How about this?
But would I have kept one advantage because of the lieutenant rule?
I'm going with you're not quite in melee contact.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're a little bit spread out. Only a couple of meters, but... right, a -3, and that was a +4. Oh, geez, okay. So, let's see how much that would do. I mean, that's going to hurt.
Dead MacGyver.
Damn. One of the fists comes slamming into the side of your leg, and you feel what you feel could be a bone snap in there. You're still standing on it, but oh, that hurts. Okay. You're alive. Kind of. For now. Holding your own against some monstrosity. Same foul language comes sort of beckoning from behind you. Terrifying. Sends some chills down your sort of spine as you hear the words. Radburn, it's up to you. What are you doing?
So from where I am, I guess the two human-sized guys are obscured by the
yeah,
party.
you can kind of sidestep around either to get a clear shot, but from where you are currently, no clear.
But I still get, I can still pump shots into the top half of the...
You could stand still, shoot at the top half of the big one, yep. With a +30 in total.
Yeah, I'll go for that then. Try and put some more shots into that.
Okay.
+30, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Right. A modest amount of damage.
Burst again.
1, 2. You see your bullets disappear into its flesh. It's seemingly relatively unfazed. It does stagger slightly, but still standing, still looking remarkably healthy. MacGyver, your leg hurts like hell. What are you going to do?
Shoot again, I guess, because that's my best option.
Yeah, +20 to the shot. Sorry, let me just think this through again. It is going to be +10 for large, shooting in melee, so it's -10 in total, actually. Because you're shooting a gun in melee. But you get, it would be a -20, but you get +10 because of the size. Shooting a rifle in melee is not particularly easy.
Still better than melee, I think.
Possibly.
Yeah, his range is 15 over melee.
Okay. Not so good. Not so good as well. I think you may...
did.
Not quite. Malatant wins.
No.
Only just. But, again, shooting it full of bullets...
Can I
certainly.
use a fate point or whatever it was, the 14 point to add a success.
You can add a success level, so you do hit it. Absolutely. That will deal a small amount of damage, but it will be enough to strip the advantage off of this thing.
Yep.
Making things slightly more secure for you. Mustaka, something
All
with
right,
a club.
so Mustaka needs to run away. He has relentless, so I'm gonna go ahead and burn an advantage, but I keep an advantage to run the heck away. Bye.
Okay. You're just backing off. Okay, fine. You can disengage. But you still have an action because of your passive, basically. So you would normally use an you don't have to burn an action to do this.
Well, I have to try and break the broken condition, right? That's part of the rule. So I have to find a spot to hide and try and break it, right?
Or you can use a resolve point to ignore psychology for this round. It's up to you.
I guess I could use a resolve. Fine. Yep. Okay. Burn.
So you now for this turn have some choice as to what you would like to do. And
I'm gonna go ahead and well, I ran away from MacGyver, so I can't help him now. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot at the guy that my lieutenant's fighting.
Okay. We're gonna have a -10 for moving and a -20 for shooting into combat. But a +20 for range, so just a -10 in total.
Just a -10?
Yeah.
Got it.
The -20 is to offset hitting the lieutenant. Okay. Unfortunately, not enough. Shot just goes wide as you take care not to hit your lieutenant. Close.
Get out of the way!
Right. Another blow comes down toward you, Lieutenant. +4, nice. Let's have your defensive roll. Okay, that will be a hit. 10 damage in total. 10 damage and... not too bad, actually. Only 2 makes its way through. It does strip your advantage down. But you keep 1 because you're passive. And it gains an advantage in return. Right. What's going on? Next, Pestilenitant. MacGyver's looking pretty screwed right now.
Yes.
This one's actually going to go and try and help its master. Or you presume could be its master.
Oh, come on.
Good. As it charges forward, it starts raising this club above its head, and the tentacle that's what used to be a hand, let's go with it, slips out, lands on the floor beside, and it swings an open hand towards the power armor and just bashes it on the side. Nothing happens. I guess we should actually oppose that by something, shouldn't we? We will do a... Oof! Okay. He's going to take 1 damage after all that. So he does take a hit. You hear him, in just frustration, in a very calm manner. Protect me. Lieutenant, it's your go. Mute.
Chainswording.
Chainsword.
Give me like a second before you say anything.
I was just checking. Fire away. Okay, a decent hit. Only a 9. Tearing not doing too well. A +2. So there's still a reasonable amount of damage. And you won the test. 7 damage to his head. Nice. Able to steal yourself some extra advantage. You're able to get a glancing blow against that horn, let's say, and just burn through it with your chainsword. Nice job. With his offhand, so we'll do this at -20. He's going to try and swipe. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? No. Tries to take a swing at this creature, just trying to sort of wipe it away with his chainsword. Unsuccessful in doing so as it dips underneath his slow-moving powered armour. Malatant is going to have another swing at you, MacGyver. I'm sorry to do this to you. Oh, well, there you go. You might dodge this one.
Yep.
Let's have a dodge. Anything less than -5. Perfect. An extra advantage for you, my friend. Things are looking up.
Yay!
Okay, you can hear some sort of wrestling, a tussle going on behind you. This individual's voice seems to be getting a bit louder. He's managed to free up some of his throat and begins chanting in a manner which starts echoing through the chamber. You can feel a very small rumble occurring. You're not sure what's happening, really. MacGyver, it's you to go.
What I would like to do is take my last grenade and somehow stick it into the flesh of this blubbering man.
I'll allow it. It's huge. I will say let's just have you make a... let's just roll the grenade and see what happens.
Make sure to do Carl after this. You skipped him.
Okay, my bad. Thank you very much. I did indeed. 14. Nice. This will be against its attempts to... Oh, nice. Right. Nice. You manage to plant your fist in between two of the scars on its abdomen, leaving the grenade inside, and moving around the other side of the creature. An explosion of flesh inside its stomach sends a good third of the creature's abdominal contents onto the floor in front of you. The majority of its mass, though, seems to contain the explosion, but a very good job. It's severely wounded and looks pretty rough. Radburn, my apologies, it's you to go.
Cool. Can I hit that one that's attacking the Inquisitor, the Pestilent?
You can indeed. Are you going to shoot it, or are you going to...
Yes.
Okay, so take a pop. Indeed, you will have a +10. It is in melee, so also a... okay, so if you don't want to hit the Inquisitor, it's going to be -10 in total. Obviously, you've got your advantage, so it would be +10 after all of the bits and bobs.
So my difficulty is -10 then?
I would leave the difficulty and just change the modifier to 10.
Okay.
After all of the bits and bobs. Nice.
First.
So that will be 10 damage. That will be hit number 1. That will be hit number 2. And that will be hit number 3. Nice. Inflicting a large amount of damage into the side of this creature. Similar to its larger compadre, a number of small maggots fall out of its abdomen, falling to the floor and hissing against the floor in a small, awkward screeching sound as they sort of burrow down between the gating. Right, Mustaka. Could you roll a fear check for me for last turn? I just needed to see if you... Yeah, valor check. I just needed to see if you broke your conditions last turn, because I forgot. No, you're still scared. You can use your last resolve if you like, or you can just sort of take cover and hide.
I'm going to have to take the turn because I don't have any more resolve. I only have one.
Okay,
so I'm going to have to spend a turn to break this broken condition.
There are enough tables, chairs, and doors and things for you to hide behind a pillar. Let's have another valor test for the end of this turn to see if you break the condition.
No
One
modifier.
more valor. Plus nothing because you've just hidden. Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, the only thing you can do here...
Oh my god, these guys! What is this?
The only thing you can do here is use a resilience to manually pass the test.
I just want to go home! I want to be rich again!
I like that, though. That works. Right. Lieutenant. Another hit. Another swing from this creature's crude axe. Comes down towards your flak armor. And let's have your defensive roll. Easily deflecting and parrying this to one side. You definitely have the upper hand on this creature now. The two of you parrying blows back and forth, but easily outskilling it thanks to your training of the Progenium. Right. Wrong button. Oh my word, no! Okay. Okay. Swings the chainsaw.
Inquisitor.
Yeah, he's not doing too well. Swings the chainsaw to one side and manages to knock loose one of the many sort of the sort of wires, cables, and various sort of instruments running over his armor. Manages to sever one, and you see it sort of flail loose, hissing a smoke coming out. You don't know what it does, but you get the impression something bad just happened. Danilo, it is you to go.
I'm gonna swing at the.
Finish this. Finish this, please.
Oh, I'm gonna re-roll.
Okay.
That's my
Yeah,
last
he rolled
one.
a +4 as well. Damn. +6. Hey. Okay,
Nice.
so we'll do that. 8 damage in total. It's still not enough to kill it. Only 1 makes it through. Yeah, I'm afraid you parry blows with it and you manage to swipe off a small chunk, but that was not it rolled exceptionally well, to be fair, in defense. So eek.
Did that take the hit points off of it?
Yes,
I forgot the target.
it was 1, sadly. Right, let's have another swing at this. Jesus. Yeah. This in front of you, Radburn. You notice the Inquisitor is struggling now. His hand has nearly come off of the throat entirely of this man, or whatever you can call him, and he is now bellowing out some chant that, as you're facing him, you can see a sort of amount of light emanating from his chest. You don't know what this means. You get the impression it's not good, though. One would say. Malatant. MacGyver, let's dance.
Yep.
Okay, you have a -1 to beat. Quite the agile ninja. You are able to single-handedly dance your way around the tentacles of this foul monstrosity. Simply amazing. Again, this light starts emanating and glowing out in various beams from its chest. It's sort of a greenish yellow colour, Radburn. You're the only one currently facing this direction, but it looks bad. Right, it is your go, Radburn. What would you like to do?
I can't risk shooting that round the Inquisitor, can I? I'm more likely to hit the power armor than
difficult. Yeah, the other one you have a better view of.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to burst, try and finish off that pestilent.
Okay. Let's have your shot.
Again, you said?
-10 in total, but you do have all your advantage. So you start off with 30, then you're doing -20, then you're getting +20. Actually, it would have been, in total, it would have been 30. 8. Okay. You're doing good. You managed to shoot him. He's near enough crippled.
Was that as a burst as well?
And after the next couple of hits, he dies.
Yep.
Thank you for continuing to remind your GM, who's failing miserably. The first shot cripples him. He staggers on the spot. The next one finishes him off. A single blow to the head. And with that, well, we'll come to that in a moment, actually. MacGyver, the tentacle dancer.
Yep.
What are you doing currently?
Shooting is my best option still, so...
You hear your lieutenant yell, "Hit it with the disinfectant!"
That would be a good idea.
Right. Don't forget your +10 to hit.
Yeah.
A tiny bit more damage, unfortunately. A decent roll for himself. Again, able to make this very difficult for you to land a decent blow.
It's going to die a death of 1,000 cuts.
Indeed. It's pretty much got holes all over it at this point. Bullets don't seem to be making their way through it very well. Mastaka, can we have another roll to see if you can snap out of this?
Do I need to roll again, even though I spent my turn removing the break condition? I thought that's how it works.
You
Every
remove,
turn,
you remove
removes.
one condition. Yeah, we're going with one condition for you. So yes,
Okay,
yes,
so-
you are free. You are free to move. You've gathered yourself. Yeah, we'll go with the one condition because
I will see like a nearly dead MacGyver to inject him.
You're going to inject this creature with something?
No, I'm going to inject MacGyver with something.
Oh, MacGyver! Right. Sorry, I misheard. Sure. What you're going to inject him with?
Steroids.
What's your injection of choice? I think you've got a couple of things. You've got stim, which he's already got.
I still have stim.
You've got detox. You've got cast spray, which you can quickly use to heal them
that will
up.
give one more bonus SL on Medicaid test. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use that. Let's go ahead and remove that down to 0. And then I'll go ahead and use Medicaid on MacGyver.
No bonuses, because he is engaged in melee, so your plus 20 is negated. And
I'm pretty sure you killed me.
Unfortunately, he's got an int bonus of 4, so fortunately I don't think he damages you.
I'm going to use my reroll on that, my last one.
A last reroll. I think you heal him for 1, so... and you will gain yourself 1 advantage somehow. Technically you wouldn't, but that's fine.
No. So my bonus is going to be 4 plus the 1 SL from the cast spray, so that's -3. So that'll be plus 2 hit points I'll get back.
Right, up to 5. Feeling invigorated, you're ready to go. Right.
I tried, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's the dead one. Okay, the living one is attacking you, Danilo, with a plus 2. Let's have your defense.
Cool.
-1.
Okay.
It's still going to be, because it's rolled not particularly well and you're not rolling too badly. It's basically just chinking off of your armor. This thing is not particularly well equipped, but it does strip away your advantage.
Yes, sir.
And you take 1 damage. Right. Danilo, it is you to go.
Did that automatically hurt me, or...?
Yeah, if it hits but it doesn't make it through, it's minimum of 1 damage.
Okay, so I just adjusted that. Alright. Same as last time, then.
Yes. Oh, I didn't use Death Blow when the Malatant did hit. Damn, next time.
Okay, I should have at least 1 advantage, so that's fixed.
Okay. Oof.
Bad roll.
Oof. Yeah, I've not been using my large creature properly, so able to successfully defend. Right.
Probably enough.
Now let's use a large creature for what it can do. It is going to move out of combat because it can do so for free, kicking you to one side, MacGyver. It is going to gain 1 advantage as it steps around and charges into combat with Danilo. Danilo, you are now outnumbered. It's harsh, it's unfair, it's cruel, but it charges in to join its compadre to try and flatten you, and finally lands a pretty decent hit, but that'll do. Let's have your defensive roll.
Alright, so...
Plus 7 SL to beat.
A charge, outnumbered...
and by the way, defensive rolls with your weapon are a -20.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Defending against it will be -20 because it's large. Or you can dodge.
Oh, what's my dodge skill? I am not going to bother with dodging.
Okay, parry with a -20 then.
Okay. This is going to be hard. Get the advantage.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Let's see what happens. Still... Oh my god. Hanging in by a thread. Damn. But it has 2 advantage now, which makes me happy. Your left arm shatters as it impacts you, charging in with its hand, crushing what feels like your shoulder blade. A huge amount of pain right now. Klosterheim grabs this cretin again, but now with both hands wrapped around his neck and continues chanting. Something again in a language unfamiliar to you, but continues on. And Radburn, it is you to go.
Have I got a pretty decent shot into the side of this Malatant now that it's...
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I'm gonna
just have a plus 30 in total.
On top of my advantage?
Yes. Plus 60 then. Take the damn thing down.
We just want to avoid that. Come on.
Oh,
I'm going to re-roll that.
Re-roll that, yeah. Re-roll that.
Fortune, isn't it?
Yep. Fate can also be used to manually choose which dice you rolled. So you can use it to roll an 11, which instantly crits. Just as a general sort of fact for this game. I'm not saying you need to, but...
Resilience, is it?
Oh, yeah, resilience lets you choose the dice, doesn't it? Yeah, well spotted. 11 damage, though, and 3 hits. That is enough to finally take it down. Danilo is nearly dead. MacGyver, the tentacle dodger. Can you save him?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Shooting gives me minus.
Minus blah blah blah. Shooting into combat minus 20, but it's short range, so it's a flat roll.
And I have 3 advantage, so that would be +3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bibbly bobbly boo. Damage 7. You're able to stagger it back, but these things are tough. A small amount of damage makes its way through, but unfortunately not the roll you were looking for. Mustaka, you may be able to save the day. Or Danilo. What would you like to do? Mustaka?
I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to actually use this skill or talent that I just realized that I have, which is called field dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use that on MacGyver. Let's just field dress him now.
No, on the lieutenant.
On the lieutenant? No, you're right next to me. I'm already doing it.
Wonderful bedside manner. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I know, right?
Field
All right,
dressing.
so it's a Medicaid test. I can switch the numbers if I want to. Yeah, so like
You
there,
can.
I can
So that's
switch
an 8.
those. So it's 0, 8, but I can only take a maximum of 1 SL. So what that'll be is it'll be my bonus of 4 plus 1. So yeah, 5.
Okay, you're able to quickly dress the runes of MacGyver,
Yeah.
who's not particularly appreciative of what you are doing, but still. Right, let's see if we can kill a player. Danilo. Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Let's do this. Let's have a defensive roll.
Where?
That's not going to matter.
If I kill one, I'm happy. Right, let's see what the crit
Also
does.
wounded.
Smash ribcage, definitely.
You already broke his ribs once, I'm pretty sure, right? I avoided
Now the rest.
that. I burned
Definitely broke. Right, apply damage. That's another critical. Now you've got 2 bleeding conditions as well, and more broken ribs. Things are looking pretty grim. You're on the floor, prone, unconscious. It is your go, though. So, can you roll me for the 2 bleeding conditions, can you roll me a 1 D100, and on an 80 plus you die. You do not bleed out. All is okay. For now. But you are still on the floor, unconscious and such. You could have burned a fate to ignore that hit. I like the drama.
I also have a resilience left as well, but...
Yep.
We're going to roll with it.
We'll roll with it. You're alive. You can hear now that the individual that is being held by what you assume is an inquisitor is having his throat completely crushed by 2 hands gripped firmly around. The light within his stomach is dimming somewhat as the chanting of the inquisitor has become louder, and you can hear him hissing and screeching in pain, writhing around and cursing in some language unfamiliar to you. Radburn, finish him.
First fire at that standing one.
Fire away. Lieutenant's on the floor, so you get plus 20. He's a sitting target, sitting duck. Finish him. Yes,
That might do it.
that'll do it. That's all the hits. You are fine. You have killed him. All is well. Ish. Yes, we got there. God. Oh, what a slog. Okay.
Lieutenant!
You can hear, especially Radburn, as you look around you. The Inquisitor continues to chant louder and louder. The pain that this individual is experiencing seems to magnify as his body starts writhing and twitching. You see elbow joints snap backwards and 90 degrees past, completely backwards from the range they would normally go. You hear the knees pop, ribs be crushed. It looks like his body is being sort of pushed in on itself, and in front of you it sort of turns into this sort of crushed, imagine like a car going in a car compressor. Like his body is just crushed in front of you by some unknown force before dropping to the floor in some crumpled mess. At which point the individual in power armor turns around to you, panting, breathing heavily. Tell me, how many have you killed?
Well, there were some swarms, and I don't.
There was 4 raiders earlier. These guys.
Good. He eyes
Noah bleeds in response.
Yeah, Lieutenant, you're kind of like being tended to right now. Like the bleeding stopped.
Yeah, Mustakas is down with you.
You're
We'll figure
stabilized.
that out after.
Barely conscious, but kind of eyeballs on him and just sort of seeing what's going on. He eyes each and one of you down for about what feels like an eternity. Still breathing heavily, gradually catching his breath. We need to leave. My name is Klosterheim. Inquisitor Klosterheim. And you
Oh no.
now belong to the Inquisition.
Oh no.
That's where we're going to end today's session. Congratulations for surviving.
Yay!
Would have helped if I'd learned and remembered how to use a large opponent. Always remember you can ditch out of combat whenever you like and charge back in again. And if you do hit something, which I did twice, you get another blow on something else nearby, which I didn't use today, which probably would have murdered this group. Guys, I'd like to thank everyone, all of the viewers, for stopping on by. This is a homebrew and a work in progress, so certain things need to be tweaked and adjusted. That was a very high armoured enemy. Basically, you need a huge amount of SL to take it down. There are ways of getting that quite reliably, dogpiling it, and a few other bits and bobs. It's doable, but the rolls kind of led to quite a slog. But with only las weapons, job well done. Job well done to everyone. This will be downloadable via a module, and we will be playing Warhammer Fantasy again in a week's time today, because we're streaming every Saturday. 2 weeks today we will be returning to this. I'm not quite sure the setting. We'll try and do another one-shot of this, and it might continue plot-wise from here. Not sure. We'll see what we got going on. It will likely be a series of one-shots first. But if you have questions, feel free to stick them in the comments of the video. And thank you very much for stopping on by. I'm going to go have a hot shower now, I think.
Bye, guys.
Or a cold shower.
Bye bye.
Toodaloo. Oh, and shout out to the patrons too for